Just looking through some of the news stories that Karl did make it into Karl's news roundup.
Yeah.
This one you might be interested in. Headline, woman says partner ran off to become vampire.
Yeah.
And it says a young mother says her partner has dumped her to become a vampire. Rebecca Roberts from Somerset says Matthew Barrett fell for a blood-worshipping woman in a US cult. The 23-year-old mother says he began shaving all his body hair, dressed in black, and used Rebecca's lipstick to redden his eyes. Rebecca caught him performing weird blood rituals in front of his computer at night, cutting himself to prove commitment. She said, I thought it was just a hobby. Everyone's got a right to one. I was pleased he'd found an interest.
Brilliant.
This was apparently from The Sun. Apparently he's gone to America, he's living in this Ohio-based cult. But it's the last bit where she's been asked whether or not, if he came back, would she take him back?
Sure.
And this is where I wonder if the journalist, you know how journalists are supposed to just report the news, be objective. Yeah. I wonder if maybe the journalist here has maybe had some interference.
Made the quote better for them than go on.
Because it says, I never thought this would take over his life. Now, if he came back, I'd say fangs, but no fangs.
Oh dear!
I can't believe. Imagine you're the woman, Rick.
Okay.
And I've come round.
You're the journalist.
I'm the journalist, and I've gone in and I've said, okay, I read about this.
All I have to do is not say that thing.
You've come. I understand you're obviously quite upset. Your husband's gone
gutted.
If he came back, would you take him back?
Definitely not.
Right.
Really,
what would you say to him then if he came back?
Just get lost.
Right, but
I'm really pissed off with you.
Would you perhaps say something a bit more pithy?
Not in this situation, no.
You're upset?
He cuts himself, he drinks blood, he's left me. No, sod off. I'm not interested, mate.
Because I tell you what.
Go on.
I mean, I like what you said there, but I wonder if we could condense that a bit more. If he came back, would you say...
Go away.
Would you ever say something like, thanks, but no thanks?
No, because it makes it flippant, because I'm really angry.
I know you're annoyed.
And I'm upset, so I wouldn't I certainly wouldn't say thanks. I might say no thanks.
But what if you sort of said it, like, aggressively, like, you were giving him the finger? Thanks, but no thanks. Like, you didn't really mean it.
What, sort of sarcastically?
Sarcastically, would you possibly say
I might say thanks, but no thanks, and that'd be it. And that's and I'd leave it there. I'd never change that.
Sure.
I'd never change those words.
Can I ask you a question?
Go on.
Do you like puns?
Hate them.
Right.
I don't like Countdown, I don't like QI, I don't like any of those posh Cambridge, Oxford type. I hate puns.
If you had to say thanks but no thanks in the form of a pun, what would you maybe say?
I wouldn't. I never would.
Right.
I'd say thanks but no thanks. I would, I mean, I feel embarrassed that I'd even say that, because I don't think I would even say thanks but no thanks.
Okay.
But if I did go that far, I'd leave it there.
Sure.
So,
have you ever noticed, as I have,
the
similarity between the word thanks and fangs?
Not really.
It's very similar.
Not
thanks,
really.
Fangs,
F-T-H, there's a K.
Fangs very much.
G, it's A and S, well, the A, the N and the S, but that's about it.
Would you agree it sounds marginally similar?
Yeah,
Is it possible you might one day say fangs but no fangs?
I wouldn't know.
Right. I could put that though, could I?
But don't say I said it.
Right.
I mean, yeah. Fangs, but no fangs.
Yeah.
Karl is still buzzing about these conjoined twins.
It's just...
One of them, of course, had to be... Because one of them was sort of shorter than the other, and had to be sort of wheeled around on a kind of trolley thing by the other...
This isn't Molly and Dolly, is it?
No, they're not called... One's called Reba.
Oh.
I forget what the other one's called. Sheena, maybe, or something like that. Do you remember, Karl?
No, I wasn't that impressed with the names. It's just...
Yeah. So you immediately put them out of your mind. Those are rubbish names. I'm just... Forget, Karl, forget. They're gone.
Were they British or American?
Yeah, American.
Oh, because I've seen some American ones on Jerry Springer.
Bizarrely, one of them was apparently a country music star.
This is Molly and Dolly.
Well, they're not called
Molly and Dolly. The one that joined at the Oi. The one that joined.
But they're not. I think you've made up the Molly and Dolly.
No, it was on Jerry Springer. There's a little one that sits on a seat, and the other one carries it round, her around. And
they're not called Molly and Dolly.
There was something like that.
They're called. Well, we know that one of them's called Reba, and I forget the other one.
One of them's a country and western singer or something.
Yeah, and but she was saying, yeah, I've just made a movie. It's coming out shortly in theatres.
Is your sister in it?
Yeah, and the other one said, oh, I'm not involved. It's utterly bizarre, because they live there, they work so hard to live their lives separate.
Yeah, they say, it's all, yeah,
exactly.
of course,
so,
yeah.
You know, they try not to, so she's talking about her music career, and the other one's sort of not taking any kind of credit for it, which is nice, I suppose.
It's weird, though, because when she was singing as well, the other one just stands there. She doesn't join in, she doesn't sort of dance.
Offer backing vocals.
Do you know what I mean? Make a group out of it.
Yeah. A duo.
Yeah, well... But it seems like we're sort of being horrible, but we're not.
No, we're not.
I mean,
no, we're laughing at Carl's amazement at this phenomenon. Sorry, I just got to say, we're not, taking the mickey.
The really weird thing about all this, right? And it's annoying because you were saying about, what should have Trisha have asked and all that.
Yeah.
But one of them mentioned, that one of them was adopted, and the other one wasn't.
Don't talk rubbish.
No, seriously. I didn't understand it, right?
Of course you didn't.
And then Trisha sort of said, well, let's have a chat, and they were like, no, don't want to go into that.
What do you mean one was adopted?
That's what he said, one of them... don't quiz me on it, but that's what was said.
Hello there, hello there, I'm a multi-millionaire, and I've just seen your orphanage. I'd love to adopt one of your children.
You'd like to adopt one?
I'd love to adopt a children, because I've got loads from around the world, so I'd love to adopt one. I'd give you $10,000 towards your...
Well, we'll speed it through then,
Brilliant, okay.
We've actually got 2 left.
I only need one. I'm only interested in one. Yeah, I don't need any more. Don't need any more.
They're sisters.
I know it would be tragedy to break them up, but I really only need one.
Now break it up. There's the rub. You see.
Sure. Because you just need the one. There's $10,000 now. You can have that. I'll sign it now. But I don't want to discuss it further.
I'll bring her around.
Brilliant.
Okay. Ding dong.
Hi. Yeah. Brilliant. You brought my kid round.
Yeah. There she is. There.
That's a joy.
Yeah. Okay. Just standing next to a bush.
Yeah. Do you want to? Can you bring her out?
No. There's nothing behind the bush. So you just want. I just want to be able to walk 360 degrees round her. Do you want her or not?
Yes, I can't believe it! What's that little trolley? She's talented.
Oh, dear.
You're talking nonsense, Carl.
Reading the paper there,
Yeah,
Steve?
well, I don't normally read the paper, but, I was having a glance through the Daily Express. Does anyone read the Express?
Well, you do at the moment, look.
Well, true.
Live on air.
Yeah.
Read it out, and then about 400 people will know what's in it.
I just reading, I was obviously attracted, by this little news item, gun raid by 3 Saddams. 3 armed men...
Oh, they're up to their old tricks again, aren't they?
Yeah. 3 armed men wearing Saddam Hussein masks were on the run last night after robbing a corner shop. The raiders threatened the worker with a handgun and a knife, ordering him to open the till, blah, 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 get the money out. And it says that they also tried to rob an earlier shop earlier in the day. Police said, we are linking the raids because the descriptions of the offenders are very similar. What did the first one not quite get right? Yeah.
Well, they looked very similar. I think it was Gaddafi, 3 Gaddafis.
Right, because that's weird, because we've had 3 Saddam Husseins down the shop down the road.
That's what I meant.
Is it the same guys? Because
I assume so. I wouldn't have thought.
I don't wanna, get the Gaddafi guys on the Saddam Hussein charge.
I'm almost sure it'd be the same way. I didn't know. One's got a moustache, haven't they? And one they all got a moustache. I don't know. But I mean, there was 3 blokes with masks, Middle Eastern appearance. I don't know. But I mean, I imagine it's the same.
Because I've only ever seen really, robberies being planned in films.
Sure.
So I don't know how it works. I assume that...
So you say. Yeah.
But I assume at some point someone's got to get together, one of them, the ringleader's got to get together and go, okay, well, we need to wear masks, obviously, to disguise our faces. I'm thinking of going with the regular stockings.
No. I'll tell you what would be funny.
Well, I don't want to be funny.
Well, no.
We want to strike fear into the hearts of the people robbing.
I mean, 2 birds with 1 stone, we get the robber and we have a laugh with it. Fear? Did you say you want to strike fear? Well, wear a mask of someone who's really scary. Who's the scariest bloke in the world? Well,
I don't know, Saddam Hussein?
I've got 3 of them.
Well, why?
I've got 3 of them. Let's all wear Saddam Hussein. It'd be a laugh.
Well, it's not, I don't want it to be a laugh. I'm robbing a bank.
Don't hurt if we're having a laugh, and that's what I want to make money and have a laugh.
Why? I'm only in the money, I'm only in it for the money. But I'm not important to me.
Well, no, it's...
I want to strike fear.
We could also make a political point.
I don't want to make a political point.
No, you just want the money.
I'm a thug. I'm not
we could have a laugh and we could make a political point.
Why not? What political point?
Maybe we're sort of stealing from the rich.
Not like Robin Hood.
Well, never mind Robin Hood. Let's rob Barclays.
Why are you making jokes?
Well, I mean, don't worry. I'm gonna do my stuff.
You're a comedian. I'm not sure you should be in this
wear the mask. Let's wear the masks. How did it happen? Did they go and buy them? Separately, look, spread out. Look, you go to the joke shop in Covent Garden. I'll go to the one in Southampton Row. Yeah. Brilliant.
See, because it's so often the case that they're using masks. It used to be Reagan, Thatcher, they were always if I was the guy selling them, it's like, when 3 guys came in, 3 shifty-looking blokes to buy 3 identical masks.
Yeah, in stockings. Just so they don't know who we are.
Sorry, can I just check, you're not gonna rob
Definitely not.
with these masks.
But just think of the police looking for those robbers. Every time they go past one of those awful sort of gift shops, they think that, oh no, it's just in the window there with Michael Jackson and, Shirley Bassey.
Yeah, and George Bush.
Oh, Paolo, can I ask you something? I know you love knobs and that, and you hate tits.
Yeah.
What about Shirley Bassey's tits?
Well, I mean, I'm a fan of them because I'm a fan of Shirley, but I don't like them. They're not cool, they're not sexy.
Yeah, you're pretty bent. You are pretty bent. Come in.
Thanks very much.
Brittany's on in 7 hours.
Excellent.
Yeah, what are you doing out at this time?
No, I just came out to, get some, milk.
Get some cock in the toilet. That's a nice song about dead people.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Just wondering, Rick, what your opinions are, what your thoughts are on Britney Spears.
Liked a couple. Bit bored. I think she's panicking a little bit. I think she's a little bit desperate with all this Madonna stuff.
Yeah, all the kind of lesbian stuff.
I don't know. Yeah, she's alright. I've got nothing against the girl.
Well, I think it was in Hot Tickets magazine. Sure. It's free with the Evening Standard.
Yeah.
I might get some free Evening Standards now. I've plugged that.
Yeah.
Just reading in there that, I don't know if it's still gonna happen, but apparently she was gonna do a little cheeky appearance at GAY.
GAY?
In London. And, obviously I was quite excited because I'm a Spears fan.
Do you know that's what that spells, don't you?
GAY?
Yeah.
Gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it is a gay club.
Oh, sure,
This is what I was ascertaining from the article.
Oh, because they've called it what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was apparently she was gonna be, previewing some of her new album live on stage at GAY. And that's an intimate venue. Normally you'd have to see someone like Spears, probably at Wembley Arena, something like that. I'm thinking, I'm a Spears fan, get up a couple of the gang together.
Yeah. So the lads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cruise down there.
Yeah.
But then I read on in the article that apparently the doorman at GAY were only gonna let in regulars, and the way they were going to ascertain if you were a regular was by asking a series of questions at the door.
What, testing if you're really...
Now, I don't know if the questions would be about the interior of GAY.
Or the interior of someone else.
Yeah. Or just general kind of,
what, do you reckon you'd have passed the, pretend...
Well, that's what I was wondering.
So you'd have had to pretend to be...
GAY
to get in to see Spears. Now
Can you say gay on the radio?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But there's irony, isn't it? So you're pretending to be gay to get into a club to see a bird, if you like.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little quick test.
Right.
Shall I? Alright. Sorry, what's your name, mate?
Paolo.
Alright, Paolo.
Yeah.
You haven't done a lot with your hair, you just sort of let it grow out. I mean, would you be putting product on a bit later? Because, I mean, you don't look very, you look sort of quite
masculine,
yeah, well, sort of like you didn't care, like you have no care about how you look, like you're
normally it would be shaved. Of course.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We would say normally that looks about, 3 months growth there. Why haven't you...
I've been ill.
Nothing serious?
Nothing serious.
Okay.
No, that's why I let it grow. So it's grown.
Okay. Yeah. So what time would you normally be going out then?
Normally I'd go out about about 8-ish.
8 o'clock in the evening you got?
No.
That sounds a bit early, that's what...
No, I'd go out about 3 in the morning normally.
Right, so I take them on... Yeah, okay, right, so that's right, yeah. Where'd you go, down sort of...
Down
Old Compton Street for a coffee and then on to GAY
something like
with your little shaved head.
Yeah.
Okay, well you're doing fine.
Gay.
Sounding pretty good. Can I just ask you one final question?
20 bender points?
20 bender points, so I'm just gonna let you in.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tell the guys to let you in, but I'll ask you one more question.
Yeah.
Do you prefer knobs or tits, Paolo?
Knobs.
Knobs, you love knobs, do you? Can't get enough knobs, so you hate tits, I assume?
Loathe them.
You hate tits, do you?
Yes.
Okay. What, even Liza Minnelli's?
I don't know what to say. I love hers.
But not in a straight
way. In a
so, okay, so you love knobs more than tits, right? Okay.
I love knobs.
In you go.
Thanks very much.
Brittany's on, do you?
Oh, she is so sexy.
Oh.
See, that's what would give me away. Like the Great Escape.
It's just last.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're probably a bit bi.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
but I mean, go in anyway.
Thanks very much.
Okay, the drinks are quite expensive.
Oh, I thought so.
Pop your shirt off, will you? long distance on XFM 104.9. On the way in, right, you know those little cars? They look like a little bubble car. They're modern ones. They look like half a car.
Is that like a smart car? Is that
yeah,
what it's called?
they look like they just look like a toy car, and you can park them sideways.
Is there only room for 2 people?
Yeah, it's just like the half of the front of a Volkswagen just cut in half, right? And I saw one going on Oxford Street, and it's a police car, a real police car, right?
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, I thought, well, what happens if they had to chase someone? They couldn't, but I don't think that's the point, because it was written on the side. It said something like cleaner, something more efficient. So I think they're making the point that we're cruising round in this car like we're on the beat, and it's using less energy and stuff. But the first thing I thought of, right, was that those 2 policemen, they must have been going, oh, Sarge, don't let us have that one. Can't we have the Granada?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's so embarrassing.
I know, you know, police, they're doing, you know...
But you've got to respect them.
Yeah, of course,
Street toughs have got to respect
exactly. I just don't know if you have to...
Well, the only thing more embarrassing...
What if you're really tall and you have to climb out of one and you're a copper? Are there any policemen out there who have been asked to drive one of these cars? If you're listening, do you think police listen to this?
The only thing that would be more embarrassing is if you had to patrol on one of those bikes the goodies used to ride. That's the only thing I think that would be more pathetic.
A pogo stick?
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. Or on roller skates.
Yeah.
But not like roller blades. Roller skates, those really old roller skates.
Have you seen
that you tie on your socks.
Yeah, have you seen those little bikes that look like clown bikes that the couriers use now? They're about 1 foot high. They're little
I saw one the other day on it. My head turned, They're really bizarre.
Just think
they're the ones that they fold up.
Yeah, but think of policemen chasing you on that.
Well, I always remember even in America when I started seeing policemen riding bikes. It didn't seem to me, it seemed...
Oh, they're quite cool. They're the ones that go through Central Park on the mountain bikes. But that's really cool, isn't it? They, you know, they
it looks like they should be delivering
whiz along at about 30 miles an hour, and they can just deliver
Do you know what I mean? Because, like, on motorbikes, on a Harley Davidson or whatever, I'm not messing with a chips. I mean, chips. Now, that's cool, coppers.
Yeah.
But people in a smart car or, you know, it is a bit embarrassing.
But I suppose it is that, or it's better than... walking. You see
Next we'll see the windows. If you really want to be kind of worried about the environment, though, you know those little taxis you see that people pedal. They pedal around Soho.
Yeah, and when it's like a riot squad, there's 4 in the back.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing, right? If they need to arrest someone,
here we go. Go on.
No, well, what do they do? Because they do only sit 2, so do they have to flag a cab down or something for the criminal?
We'll give you the money, get a receipt, take
You definitely will go there. Yeah. You definitely will, because we've been caught this way before.
Exactly.
The last bloke, he just ran off. No, I won't run off. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Policeman, I'll take your car. Then okay, go on then. You definitely bring it back, though. I will. Well, isn't there something in America where when they arrest someone in America, they don't take them back to the station and fill out all the forms, they just take them back to the station, and then they go and fill the forms out in a cafe or something, so they're still looking out. Yeah, Carl told me that.
They're what? So they're still on patrol, is it?
Yeah, so they said they're doing all their paperwork, but they're in a cafe window and they're looking out.
Do you know, like how they say in this country so much police time's wasted by having to go back to the office and filling out loads of forms?
That sounds like some policeman going, I could get a lot more work done if I was in a Starbucks.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of criminals in the pub, and if I would, and I get to keep the receipts.
Yeah, I mean, what's safest is if I didn't wear my uniform and probably got drunk. With some mates.
Or a lot happens in, looking out my bedroom window, so if I was just like snoozing, snoozing, and when I heard a noise, I just popped, look out, oi, come here.
Yeah, apparently there's a lot of crime, in Marbella over the next 2 weeks. You want to pay me
so
to
if there's a policeman listening who has to drive one of those cars, were you annoyed when your sergeant
It is the most embarrassing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But, let's not forget why we give gifts.
Well, yeah, just to cheer people up and that.
Yeah. No, it's because the wise men gave gifts to the baby Jesus.
Yeah.
So, that's why.
What would you have got the baby Jesus? I'd have probably got him tokens. and let him decide, because he's very, you know what I mean, you don't want to get anything, you know, and then he doesn't like it, he wants to take it back.
Well, I'll tell you, in a recent poll Waterstones did, the favourite gift for children was Flanimals. Still available?
That's so outrageous. That's so disgraceful. It's Christmas Eve.
What would you have got in then?
Probably extras on DVD. I don't make any money from Flanimals.
Yeah.
I like the fact that one of the wise men turned up with gold, and the other two, frankincense and myrrh, which, as I understand it, is it's like incense or something, incense or perfume.
I don't know.
I believe that's what it is. But I just love the idea that one of them, they've all got together, they've gone, okay, now guys, we're not gonna spend more than 50 quid each this year, alright?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. So what have you all got? Before we go in and see him, what have you all got?
I spent a bit more than 50.
What are you talking about, man? We just say we weren't spending, we were just gonna whip round something cheap, like a token.
No, I got him some gold.
Can't believe it, what?
Well, I'm trying to make an impression, he's the son of God.
I didn't know, but we only got I got frankincense.
And what did the other fella get?
He got myrrh, and I don't even know what that is, and I'm a wise man. Surely one of them must have been furious.
Is myrrh still popular? Gold still very popular?
Oh, I hope so, because this is what my grand's getting this year.
Really?
Yeah, lovely.
Right, that's why we give gifts.
Do you know, like, how you got them gifts? Right?
Yeah.
Little baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Were they for Christmas or his birthday?
But I assume that these forms of protest have never made any dent in anything in the world. Because I remember when there was all these protests against the war a couple of months back, and there was one guy. So there was a huge march in London, as you know, and they did these all around the world, didn't they? But there was thousands of people in London. There was one guy. He was riding around on a 3-wheeled bike, wearing a jester's hat, blowing a horn. That was his form of protest against the war.
Was it like, what sort of horn was it?
It was one of those sort of hunting horns.
Well, he was showing him, he was saying, this is what I believe.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't change people's opinions, I don't know what will.
I like the idea of Bush, just about to invade Iraq, and just the news comes through from his chief of staff.
And Bush goes,
George.
What is it? What?
No, listen, seriously, we've got some information coming in from London.
Go on.
I know you're thinking of invading Iraq.
Definitely,
but,
why?
Well, let's just think about it, because there's a guy riding around on a 3-wheeled bike.
Oh.
He's not got the regular 2, he's gone for 3 wheels. So...
Okay, well listen, what's he wearing?
I don't want to tell you what he's wearing, he's just...
What's he wearing on his head?
He's wearing, he's wearing a jester's hat.
Okay, no, well, calm down, it's not that bad. It's not gonna change my opinion about...
He's blowing a horn!
Okay, get the troops out. Get the troops out now.
But anyway, there's a Serbian man, who has invented a sex machine for women, and he's appealing to Western women to test his device. He's from a town in, as I say, in Serbia. I guess Serbia? I guess that's right. Is that right?
Well, I don't know. What does it say?
Well, it says a Serbian man, but is it called Serbia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was all the Croatia-Serbia thing?
Well, it doesn't matter now, does it?
Okay. It doesn't matter now. It does to them. Otherwise they fought for nothing. What the hell do we know about world events? I mean, how long did that go on for? Months,
I don't know.
wasn't it?
If they're inventing new countries, they can't expect me to keep up with current trends, can we?
Anyway, this Serbian man has invented a sex machine for women, and he can't find any Serbian women to try it out, so he's looking now for Western women. He's taken out a patent on the ultimate sex machine. It runs on a 390-volt electric engine, simulates sex, and has a 7.5-inch artificial penis. He said, my sex machine has an artificial penis that can make up to 180 moves in a minute. Now, I don't even know what that means. 180 moves? What? I mean, there's only really...
Well, in and out,
I imagine. It's largely the function, unless I've been doing it
what he's done. What he's done is he's put a dildo on a Black & Decker.
A man can only manage the intensity of movement for about 5 seconds normally, but this machine can do it for as long as the woman wants. But anyway, so he's looking for a woman who will test this out. But what I love, as soon as I read this, I was thinking, just imagining there going, oh, thanks for coming in, yeah, okay. So there's, what's gonna happen is there's a penis that's gonna pop out from here, and it's gonna have sex with you. I'm gonna stand behind the machine. I've got to stand behind here, there's a lot of dials and stuff I don't want to bore you with.
Well, why do you have to stand behind it? Just...
I can't, it's technical stuff, I got to be behind the machine.
But there's no penis on the robot at the moment, it's just a hole.
No, don't worry, what will happen is, I'll switch the machine on, I'll go behind, and then a penis will appear.
Will it be like a metal-looking penis?
It will be a robotic penis, but it will seem like it's a regular fleshy human penis.
So you're gonna alright, so you're gonna go behind this robot,
go behind the machine,
disappear,
yep,
and then a fleshy looking penis is
that will appear
through the hole
when I switch the machine on.
Okay, and that'll be the real robotic penis.
But you won't see me for the duration of your section.
So you've made this sort of like robotic penis look really realistic.
It's really realistic. You will not be able to tell the difference between, say, the robot one and mine, for instance.
Okay, well I don't want to see yours.
No, there's absolutely not.
Because I've not come around here to have sex with a person.
I know, you come around to test the machine.
Yeah,
and that is exactly what you're going to get.
Okay,
a piece of mechanical action. But why that is the idea that on the front maybe he's painted a picture of a robot's face.
Yeah.
And then when the machine begins, you know, rather like in one of those horror houses, like a kind of mansion in a spooky film, the eyes of the painting, they'll move. And the real eyes will appear. Just staring out. But I don't think I can have sex with this machine unless you're actually in the room, just in case anything goes wrong. No. Don't worry, I'll be behind the machine, it'll be fine. It'll be safe, not a problem. Something to do in the evening.
Something to do, innit?
When the telly's broke.
But for years, like, they've found stuff, haven't they? Machines from, like, Roman times, to that setup.
No machines in Roman times.
Like that, though. The old sort of, knob on a stick machine thing.
The old Roman knob on a stick. I'm sorry, but I watch Time Team every week, and Tony Robinson has never done that. An old knob on a stick machine.
I just think of Julius Caesar sitting down and go, okay, aqueduct, we love that. Yeah. Thanks for that. Straight roads, good idea. We can see the enemy coming. What have you got there?
Well, I'm glad you've asked.
Ploncticus. What have you got there? Wanklicus.
What I've got here is a Yodi knob. And I've put that on the end of a stick.
Oh, a stick of phallus. Okay, well done, Wanklicus.
No.
Yeah. Well done. You are my new right-hand man, as they say.
No,
excellent.
But they do stuff like that. You've been in the London Museum and that, and they've got sort of sex stuff from years ago. They've got like these metal pants that they used to wear.
I don't know what that is.
Metal pants.
Yeah, sort of.
Is that a chastity belt? You mean? They used to make women wear them so that they could.
But they had them for blokes as well, though.
Metal pants for blokes.
Yeah,
why?
So he had little lot. So if he was away, he couldn't play away from home, and if he was away, she popped on a little.
No, I just think they sort of like sexy metal pants.
What? Oh, I don't know what you mean.
What
the sexy metal pants.
Well, they'll have to look because I haven't got it in front of me. It's just something I remember seeing, some sort of sexy metal pants that they used to wear.
But what are you saying? Sexy metal pants?
That was not British Museum. That was Soho.
No, what I mean.
That was Old Compton Street. You were looking at the shop window.
They always had to be ready for like battle and that, but these were a little bit sexy but protective at the same time. Right, I'll have to look into it.
I love the idea that that's all you remember from the British Museum.
So Lancelot, are you ready to face the Black Knight? Yeah. What do you think of these? Huh? What do you think of these? Well, I don't really care. Just I
just want to look good on the battlefield.
Well, they're both protective.
Will there be women watching, cheering us on?
Well, you're not going to fight like that, are you? What about your
I'm going to wear nothing except these sexy metal pants.
But what about your chest is exposed?
No, well, it's a good chest. I've been working out.
Yeah, I know. But what I mean is, you want metal.
I've actually been lifting up the round table every week. I just work out, do that about 4 times a day.
But that machine, right? Why did it have to be a woman, or could they have got a little gay fella in? There's quite a lot going on in the freak world.
There always is.
You've been visiting hospitals the last week, have you, when we were away?
No, there was a thing on a website. This isn't even the one that I've picked, so
this is just a bonus.
This is a bonus freak.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
This is a free freak. Right? It's a fella called the Lobster Man.
The Lobster Man, of course.
Again, good name. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
What are you going to get? Some succulent meat.
I like the idea that the vicar on the christening suggested that. I know you want to call him Mark. Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah. Look at his hands. What's his name? Mark Michael Webster. Right. Right.
Have you thought about a nickname?
Not really, no. Have you looked at
his hands?
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that because
do you know they look a little bit like lobsters?
Well, yeah, but it's quite deformed. It's we
can I suggest Lobster Man?
That's terrible, Vicar. That is terrible, Vicar. We're Go on, then. Then. Wow, just be careful. Let's have your eye out with that. This is poison. These are really, really mental poison drugs.
You know those people with you ever see them in the street, they're selling fags, duty-free, obviously, they're just selling them on the street. Have you ever seen these guys? I walk them in their Finchley Road lot, because I'm just near my place. And, all these people, they're sort of looking a bit shifty, and then they think that you're maybe a smoker. They just, fags, and they'll open their jacket, and it literally will be like something from, the 1940s.
They won't go to you, though, do they?
No, smoking, stunts your growth. They know you must have never had a fag in your life.
But, I might be buying them as a gift or something, because I'm quite a generous guy. But it struck me, I was chatting with my friend about, there seems to be, there are certain people who are very, maybe they have trouble getting work, or maybe they, they're immigrants who've not landed on their feet and they've had trouble, and so there's a couple of jobs they can do. It seems when there's the fag selling, there's those people I noticed on Oxford Street who bend a piece of wire into the shape of your name. I mean, what kind of a gift is that, really? You know what I mean?
I know.
It's like they're literally giving them out. Or you can have the bending the name, you can be selling those things that you throw at the wall and they sliver down.
At Dover?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm a trained carpenter.
Right. Can you write really small on a piece of rice?
I could try.
Could you write those names on a piece of rice?
I could try.
It's quite tricky, but
what about the rest of your family? Well, that one's only 2, but he could be trained. He's got smaller fingers.
Okay. Do you want to sell some knocked-off perfume? How about that?
Again, we'd like to apologise for any inadvertent racism. When I was at university, my best mate was a bloke called Wally, and he was doing psychology, and I was doing philosophy, and we both got into this theory called determinism, which is about the state of the mind. It's a materialistic view that everything is part of the causal web, and everything has a reaction for something that happened before it. And by the way, Carl, do not confuse this with fatalism. Determinism is not predictive. It's just that if a brain state happens again, then anyway, the famous
Everyone
one is.
knows.
The famous one is, if, a butterfly hadn't shaken its wings, Queen Victoria wouldn't have sneezed. Everything's inextricably linked, right? We were thinking that, right? And we're thinking, what if, you changed one word in, like, classic songs, or one note in Beethoven's symphony? How it just wouldn't work.
Well, I've always thought that, come on baby, light my fire. Not as good. That sounds brilliant. Enigmatic, interesting. Not so good. More pedestrian if it was, come on baby, light a fire.
Just one thing wrong. That would be great. Just, Paul McCartney comes to John and he goes, alright, John, written a song. He goes, well, she was just 17, well, you know what I mean. The way she looked was way beyond compare. I wouldn't dance with another.
I'll stop you there.
Go on.
I'll stop you there.
What's the matter?
Something not quite right with that. I love the song. It's great. Just once more.
Listen, don't be too harsh. I mean, because we write our own songs. No, sure. We can still put both our names to it.
Great talent. I think you're a great talent.
Well, listen, you hippie, right?
Not yet.
Well, not yet, but I mean, there's a Japanese bird outside looking in.
Don't fancy him, not interested.
No, well, listen, well...
And I'll never change my view.
Right, now, listen, right? I wouldn't dance with another... Is it that bit you don't like? Is it the... I just like the...
Could you try and is there a different pitch you could go?
I wouldn't dance with another...
So again,
you don't like the... Is it the noise?
I'm not sure the girls are going to go crazy for it when we do that.
Just think of...
Is there anything else you've got?
I love the idea of just changing one lyric.
Just have pictures of, they won't have NSYNC on the wall, it'd be like sumo wrestlers.
You know sumo wrestlers? I saw this thing about sumo wrestlers, because they're athletes, they go into this thing because it's a big honour to be a sumo. It's absolutely true, right? Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah. So you'd go along and you'd be 9 stone, and they have doctors there, so you have to eat to get big. Right? And this doctor was interviewed, Japanese doctor, and he's going, it is against, you'd think it's against the Hippocratic Oath, whereas they do it anyway. I do it healthily, so he gives them diets of like, 10 pounds of rice, 9 pounds of fish and things like that, and they get, but now, because it's such an honour, it's almost a spiritual thing to be a great sumo and that. They have apprentices willing to, you know, like when you're an apprentice, say, runner or something, you have to make the coffee, and or when you're working an apprentice in the studio, you have to clean the floor and stuff. Do you know what apprentice sumo's job is?
An apprentice sumo? Go on.
They wipe the sumo wrestler's arse because they can't reach. They literally can't reach.
Rubbish.
We'll give out the phone
Who's taking that up as a profession?
I know. I imagine that. I'd love to be a sumo wrestler. It's a great honour, and I'd love to work under you.
Sure.
Sure. So, what will I do? Start press-ups first?
There'll be some press-ups, yeah.
Okay,
there
yeah.
will be
What,
some
shall I get
press-ups.
into the gym now and,
No, don't before you rush off.
Go on. I'm starving.
No, I can understand that.
Go on.
Would you mind wiping my arse? Because I've just...
You can't reach?
No, I can't get the arms back there. Can't get them down there. So, and but I'll be honest with you, a lot of this Oriental food, it doesn't sit well with me.
So
it goes straight through me, to be honest.
So it's quite messy.
It's quite messy down there. It's
Right,
quite runny.
okay,
So
okay.
be careful.
Okay.
You
No, it's a
wear
great
some gloves.
honour.
If you want to wear gloves, wear
I
gloves.
don't want to wear gloves. It's an honour.
It's an honour.
This apprenticeship is 2 years, isn't it?
You know, you're not going to take my feces and sell them, are you? As souvenirs or
No,
something? 'Cause it is,
I will be mainly getting fat myself.
Sure.
Wiping your ass.
Yeah.
Great honour.
Yeah, no, good. Well,
Great
no.
honour.
Not
If
at all.
someone could call in and verify that. Look at Carl looking at us like we've just said the worst thing ever.
Right, I'm 30 now. I can only remember being off 2 times.
his memory's going as well. You'll have to time off.
And both of them were when I was at school.
What's school?
One when it was windy.
Why did you have time off? Because it was windy.
But to be honest, Carl, that lasted for 7 years. Your time off at school.
Why did you have time off? Because it was windy.
Were you windy, or was it windy outside?
No, it was like when...
Your auntie wasn't out the window, was she?
Yeah.
When the winds were bad in the 70s, and my mum said, oh...
Was it? Whoa. What? I remember space operas and flares. I don't remember the winds being bad in the 70s.
Well, my mum just said, you might get blown into the road, so don't...
She had so much faith in you, didn't she? As a human being.
Is that why she got fired from the pie shop? I'm not coming in today, I might get blown into the road.
Oh, God.
The funny thing it was, right, Steve, they had this thing going at school, because a lot of people used to wag it back then.
Used to what?
Wag it, sort of not go in.
Right.
Right? And, they sort of tried to make it interesting for you by giving you
An education.
a certificate if you did a full week.
Reward for the rest of your life with achievement. That sort of carrot.
And also, like, let you go home at 3 o'clock on a Friday,
Right.
if you'd done a full week and that.
Yeah.
So it was lovely weather all week. Then it just sort of changed on a Friday, and I got up and it was all windy.
It's
My
always
mum
windy
said,
for Friday on Sunday, isn't it?
don't, you know, if you don't go in, because, you know, you might get blown into the road and that. So I said, alright then, I'll stay off. And,
so why did you told you to hold on to a fence or walk you there? What's this? Don't go out.
Immediately give up.
I love this getting blown into the road. Is that based on your cats that kept getting blown into the road?
well, so I got to school on the Monday, right? And the teacher said,
Took you a
right,
long time.
today, to punish you, you're the only one who wrecked the whole week, right? Everyone else came in, you didn't. So everyone else is going home at 3 o'clock today, but you're not.
Brilliant. Serves you right, and
I wasn't bothered though, it was great, because I said, well, you'll have to stay with me, won't you? And it was great. So all I did for half an hour was doodle and stuff. It was great that afternoon.
yeah.
And that was ages ago. That was like when I was about 8. And that's one of the times I was off ill.
Yeah.
So it was,
But that wasn't even ill, that was wind.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down, right, who's a bit rough, alright?
Didn't fancy her.
Oh, God, no. Right, but she had a
Why?
baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. Why was she?
It was a
She
very...
looked like a man in a
I mean,
dress.
I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything. And
Sure.
I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What did she look like?
But anyone can
Tattoos?
clean up.
Looked
And
like Tony Green with a fag on.
they didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make
Get
a
some
place look
jiff.
nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't, and a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry.
Whoa, yeah.
Whoa, Neddy. What do you mean a kid used to take a horse into the house? Where did he get a horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have done.
So you've seen a horse do it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of leather?
Right?
Oh, that's great. Did Big Jake come looking for it?
I'd been out.
Oh. No, sorry, let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after.
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean he must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. Alright then. But keep it out of the kitchen.
I don't want you going Catlin rustling.
Where did he get a horse from, Carl? And how long did he have it for? Was he leading it or riding it? Mum, open the door! I can't stop!
I can't stop it. Open the patio door as well.
Looks like we got us a runaway. What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is, they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think...
He had a horse?
Yeah, right. So
that's why the family didn't have any money. They'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't think, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway...
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Carl, in case they're listening.
Yeah. And
they could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well. Oh.
So I was like in the car with my dad coming into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round. And, and you know, sort of go back to our house.
You had the traditional method of transport, yeah.
And the horse was in the lounge,
reading a paper,
just like walking around.
Oh God! What?
And when I was doing, I tried to earn myself some money once by flogging little flowers in plastic cups.
What? This is genius. It just keeps coming. What do you mean you tried to flog little flowers? What do you mean?
Wait. Let's play a record. Let's play a record and come back to this.
Wait a minute.
The story's gonna just unravel and unravel. It's going on for hours. Let's play a track,
deeper
Carl.
and deeper. It's like an onion, isn't it?
We've created a whole world here where there's a man living with a horse.
Just walking around the lounge.
I come from the West Country. I've never heard anything like that.
I just think of a big sort of like orange carpet and a rediffusion telly and this horse going, I'm fed up in here.
Exactly.
This is really...
I am not taking the rubbish out again.
Yeah.
Right, play a record. Let's have Velvet Underground. We've got that lined up.
Oh,
yeah, the classic from the first album. I'm Waiting for the Man. Let's come back to the horse in a second.
Little flowers in pots. What do you mean?
Underground and Nico, which apparently peaked at a disappointing 171 in the US charts.
Think of that.
And that's obviously Lou Reed, the Velvet Underground, and Waiting for the Man.
Yeah, great track. So, we were talking, we were doing White Van Man, and we got onto,
genetically modified babies, but
and
somehow
then Carl started telling a story about someone with a horse, and then he got onto, he was trying to make money selling flowers. Just do the flowers briefly.
Well, hang on, I just want to recap slightly. So there was a family, and who had the horse in the family?
It was...
Because you lived on an estate in Manchester.
So the mother was a right pig, apparently.
Well,
I don't know whether that's relevant.
You don't need to go that far.
But
what I'm trying to do is, like, make a picture for you so you understand.
What did she look like? Who did she look like?
Bit of a, and no disrespect to her, bit like Pauline Quirk.
Quirky, yeah.
Right?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. I knew it was going to be Pauline. Did she have any tats?
I've never got that close to her.
Okay, alright.
So who had the horse? Was this her son or her husband?
No, her daughter.
Her daughter had stolen a horse?
Yeah, from, I don't know where, I think it was some stables down the road or something.
And they kept the horse in the house with them?
They kept it in the house.
Did they
didn't
get
have
caught?
it for long.
No.
Sorry, and you said you were in the house one day and you saw the horse in there?
What happened was, I was, they did this thing at school about raising money for charity, right? For some local charity. And they said you can do anything to raise money, and they came out with all these ideas, and I thought, that's good.
What was the charity?
Well, I don't know, I thought, forget the charity.
Yeah, that's just a good money-making idea. So, you're a charity.
So I asked my mum for some, cause she used to have a lot of flowers around the house.
Sure.
I said, can I just take some snippings off them? And, I'll go and buy some plastic cups. And, got some soil out of the garden, planted the bits of plants in them.
Yeah.
Got a tray.
Yeah.
Had about 25 plants on it, selling them for 25 pence each.
Excellent. Did you sell any?
Yeah, so loads.
Did you just cut, you didn't just cut them and stick them in the soil?
Yeah, they want to survive. But I think people sort of thought, well, good on him for trying. But anyway, so I went round to theirs, because I thought their house could do with a bit of colour and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit rough. So as I went...
The horse went, thank God for that breakfast. They've been feeding me kitty cat.
So I got up to the door, and they opened the door, and it was one of them houses where no carpet.
Yeah, a horse in the living room.
You know.
We've all been there.
And the horse was walking around the living room. I looked quite happy and everything, because I always say that about animals.
Black Beauty was on. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? If you were a horse, where would you rather be? In a little wooden hut with a load of hay, or in like a house with a
central heating,
3-piece suite and a telly and that?
Telly and that.
No, but I was saying this the other day.
And an Atari,
right? Yeah, I didn't go to school much because me mum and dad had a caravan.
Right.
No need, is there? No need when you've got that sort of fun at home.
I used to just go away for weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, honestly.
Where'd you used to go?
Port Maddock.
But
And so you didn't go to school much?
No, I did, but not as much as everyone else.
No.
How many holidays were your parents having? What
loads.
was their income that they could...
No, my dad used to work nights, and he used to travel back, because to Manchester from Wales, it wasn't that far. And
Manchester to Wales?
He used to do 4 on and 4 off, so me and my mum were, like, loving it.
But what Port Meredith?
Port Maddock.
Port Maddock.
Down the road from Port Merion, where they filmed The Prisoner.
Right.
Oh, so that's cleared up for me.
Yeah,
location-wise.
So what did you do then? You were in this little 2-berth caravan on the back of a Cortina estate.
Right.
Well, what was it? What was the car? I want the... what was
Granada,
it?
Ford Granada.
Ford Granada. What are we talking? 1980...
Yeah, 82, 83,
right?
84, 85.
Okay.
Which is.
And you in the car, down there, park up.
Yeah.
What was it? What was Port Meredith?
Port Maddock.
Port Maddock.
I remember Ruth.
It's just,
Oh, yeah.
it's just a holiday camp.
Yeah.
And had an arcade and a beach. I was loving it.
Yeah.
But, so of the 52 weeks of the year, let's assume, I don't know how many weeks you take off normally for holidays anyway. Let's just say, I don't know, you go to school 45 weeks of the year maybe? Generally, most kids?
No.
Bit less.
Bit less than that?
42.
How many weeks would you say you actually spent in school?
Well, how many weeks do you have off for summer?
Well, we'll work that out. That's what
About
I mean.
6 off for summer, about 3 for Easter, about 3 for Christmas.
Put it this way, I'm surprised I'm not Welsh, to be honest.
Right.
Because I was there more than I was in Manchester.
Did the school authority not come and check you out?
No, they didn't.
Didn't get Manchester, I suppose they didn't care, did they?
Not really.
Yeah.
They're lucky you turned up at all. What did you just turn up for the last day when you could take in your best toy? Did you know that when you could take in any game?
Just play with everyone else's. Why, I break my stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good
Well, this
point.
answers a lot. This does answer a lot. The fact that you spent most of your time on the beach as a kid.
Teachers were no good at my school. We were talking about it yesterday.
So you were teaching them a lesson by going off in the summer. Yeah.
Anyway.
And did you go to university?
No.
No. Did you go to sixth form or college?
No.
When did you leave school?
When I was about 15.
Right. What, you just went on holiday and didn't come back?
I just got a job early, didn't I?
Where was it? Port Maddock?
No, I was a printer. BM Print in Trafford Park. Have you ever seen, like, a bald pet?
No.
It's weird.
What do you mean?
Because my mum, we had a cat. We used to get through loads of cats because we lived there.
Oh, God, it's starting early today, isn't it?
What do you mean?
It's only 10 past 1.
What are you doing?
No,
Running a restaurant?
We lived on.
Oh, God, what do you mean?
No, we lived on like a main road.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
we used to get through a lot of them. My dad
It was
kept
their
saying,
risk.
stop wasting money, it's not
Stop
good.
wasting money, not wasting cats.
Right, so, anyway, we had this cat that was ill all the time. And,
It's just bag of nerves, probably.
Yeah, malingerer. Yeah, I'm terrified.
I'm going to which house?
Rome. Oh, God, bloody hell. Rome.
Don't let me go to the Pilkingtons.
and it, for some reason, it kept being sick all the time. Right?
Yeah, that is nerves. That's definitely nerves.
So my mum thought, oh, I've had enough of this, and she shaved it.
Whoa. Whoa. Now, I know you're not vets in your family, but what correlation did your mum think there was between you being sick and shaving it?
Because it kept being sick, and it was a pain to wash, because it kept getting
So
caught
she
up.
wanted a dry wipe cat.
So,
Why didn't you just varnish it? What?
it's weird, though.
So now he's cold and sick.
No, but not all of it. She left sort of the back half, but sort of from its waist, sort of.
I love that shaving because it's sick on itself.
And it was the weirdest looking thing. I mean, normally I like cats. I'm always like giving yours a stroke on the head and that.
Yeah.
But as soon as she did that, it was like, oh.
Yeah.
Can't touch it. And then.
So now it's sick, cold, and hated.
Yeah.
Carl.
It must have, I mean, the other cats must have been taking the mick out of it constantly. You're just making things worse. Did it get, I'm hoping that it got run over and was put out of its misery.
No, I think it got alright, that one. Or is that the... Yeah, it did get run over. It did.
Oh, God. Oh, dear.
How many cats do you say you've got through?
I'd say whilst I was living at home, I mean, it's still on the increase even though I'm not there. So, whilst I was there, probably 5.
God.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
And were you upset each time, or you just got used to it?
It's one of them things, isn't it? Like I've said before, when you first see something, it's a bit of a shock. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Elephant Man or whatever.
Yeah.
First time you see him, it's that sort of, oh, look at that. Did I tell you the time when the doctor said I was going to die?
Alright, keep talking.
Right, ages ago, must have been about 15, right? And at lunchtime there was this... We used to have a choice of stuff to do at lunchtime, right? We used to have like a burger place that had an arcade machine in it, right? So we used to go there and play on that and have a burger. Or there was this baker's, right, that my mum worked at, and did great cakes and stuff, right? So she used to like bring some home and that, but she couldn't always bring them home every night because, you know, they cost money, and she used to get them for free. And they used to say they'd rather chuck them away than give them to the staff because there's a chance that the cream might be off.
Right.
Right, so they used to chuck them round the back. So I used to go round the back with my mate and eat a load.
Brilliant. Scavengers eating out of bins.
No, it wasn't out of bins, they were still in trays, but they just stacked them up near the bins, right? So this got out, I mean, it used to be a chocker. Once the school found out, everybody used to go there, and it'd be like, well, have a cake.
The headmaster crawling through, fighting the kids off.
Right, so I'd have, you know, you just eat, I don't know, 6 jam donuts or something, and then you'd spend your dinner money on the arcade machine.
Brilliant.
Right? So it was a good afternoon, really, right? So you do that, and this one day I must have had 6 or 7 jam donuts, a few Congress tarts.
What's a Congress tart?
I love them, I can't get them in London, right? So I'd have some of them.
If anyone can get a Congress tart for Carl in London, please let him know. So
anyway, this day, that was just a normal day. Do you know what I mean? You'd once, twice a week, you'd have a load of cake.
In your life, yeah.
Yeah, that's normal day in your life. Were the frog boys there with the webbed hands and the big heads?
So,
and the horse in the settee? Yeah.
But the day after one of these days, I had really bad cramp in my belly. Right? I was like in agony, could hardly walk, so I said to my mum,
you could hardly stagger to the free cakes.
So, I was in absolute agony. I said, I don't like doctors, but you'll have to get a doctor in because I don't know what it is, I can't walk. She gets the doctor round, I won't say his name, but he said, well, doesn't look like he's got long left.
Blimey.
So I was a bit like, hang on a minute, I've only had a few cream donuts.
Yeah.
My mum was panicking.
Sure.
He went, my dad came in from work, she said, oh, something's really bad with Carl, I think it's serious, you know, the doctor said he ain't got long left. So he said, what, he said that and just left? So he said, yeah. He said, I'll have to call him then. So he called him up, said, what's all this about, you know, Carl hasn't got long left, how long's he got? So he goes, oh, I was only messing. It's just had some bad cream. Can you believe that?
Well, the thing is,
I like the fact your mum didn't ask any questions.
I know.
She didn't
But
go
she
into
doesn't
detail.
know.
Can you explain more, Doctor? No, I got to shoe off.
But she doesn't.
you know, I don't want to diss you or your family, but I imagine if I was there, I'd have known the doctor was joking.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, I sound very arrogant there, but I imagine he went, what's he been doing? I had about 6 cream cones. Oh, right, oh wow, he hasn't got long to live then, I'll see you later. That's what I think the doctor did.
Yeah. I just love the idea your mum just let him go.
Yeah.
Terrified, thinking, well, I'm not going to probe him. He's that's it then.
Dad comes in. Hi, honey, I'm home. Anything happened? The doctor said Carl's going to die, and then left.
Go on.
Watching a programme yesterday, and it was about these Japanese snow monkeys. And it was all about how animals learn things that aren't instinctive, particularly sort of primates, because they see other people doing it, and they start a culture. And they can pinpoint when these monkeys, when one monkey first went down and got in the hot water springs and stayed there because it was hot, and the others copied them, and now it's part of almost a culture, you know, that won't be handed on because it's not instinctive, but has to be learnt each time. And you know, and they groom as normal like other monkeys, right? But they're really intelligent, and obviously the reason they groom other people, other monkeys, is because they eat the mites. But also the monkeys have learnt they like being groomed. Okay, so they showed this one monkey. It went to a deer. Okay, and it was grooming this deer to get its mite off it, right? But then it didn't eat it. It held it in its hand. It went over to a monkey, put the mite on itself to show the monkey it had a mite, and got a free grooming.
That's extraordinary.
That's extraordinary.
That is
extraordinary. Because it gave up the food, knowing that if you put one there, this monkey would look for mites on it, and it would get a free grooming, and it was like having a little massage. What do you think of that?
It's not bad. I've got some better stuff coming up later.
On Monkey News, on the official.
Yeah,
Monkey
do you
News.
see what mine though? Mine's true.
I mean, that's an interesting and
It
extraordinary.
actually happened. It's
discovery.
social behaviour amongst primates. So I saw it. It was, you know.
Did it rob a bank, Rick, at any time?
It didn't rob a bank, and it didn't open a hairdresser's.
So that's what you're letting. That's what you're letting yourself down.
It's not quite good enough, is it? My Monkey News.
No, I got some.
See the difference where I named the species, explained it slightly, told you an interesting fact, as opposed to there's this monkey, right? And
look at him looking at you.
Yeah,
he's not interested, Rick. Can I tell you now? Can I try and describe for people the face that Karl has? I'll tell you what it's like. It's like if you draw some eyes, a nose, and a mouth on a balloon, and then inflate it to about half full. That's what Karl's face looks like. That's what his head looks like. It looks like a face you've drawn on a balloon. Very small, the rest of the head huge.
It's just that today I'm a bit tired, right? That's one thing.
Why are you a bit tired?
I just haven't been sleeping, right?
Why not?
I don't know. I've got a lot going on in my head.
Oh, if this would be like The Simpsons, if we could actually look in there, there would be two monkeys grooming now.
Plus, you've been talking about, like, stuff that I can't relate to and that, so I'm...
What, writing poetry?
Like what?
Reading books?
Yeah, doing poetry and stuff. I never did any of that.
What did you do?
Well, at school they didn't bother. They tried to get us to write more, right?
Right.
By,
giving you a pen?
Well, they used to give us these school diaries.
Yeah.
Little red book. And it was a way that they kept an eye on what you were doing out of school hours. Right. So some kids would write down, you know...
Stole a bike.
Yeah.
Burn a house down.
Yeah.
But when I was at school, around that sort of 12 age, I didn't get up to much. You have no money, there's nothing you can do. So every night it was the same thing. I'd get home, and I'd have to go to the shop, right, and get some potatoes and some bread every night, right. And I kept taking this into school.
Sorry, what was it? Dublin in the 17th century?
Yeah.
What do you mean every day you went to the shops and got potatoes and bread?
That's kind of what I had to get all the time. That's what we had.
Why? What did you have? Chip sandwiches?
Yeah.
Right, so you went to the... you went there.
So I kept
hoop
putting
and
that...
stick.
Yeah.
I kept putting that in a diary, you know, every night saying, went to Gervais. That was the name of the shop. Yeah.
What is it called?
Gervais.
What is it, you or you?
Like H-U-G-H. phase.
H-U-G-H, yeah. Oh, that was his name?
Gervais, right?
Right.
Used to go there, get the potatoes and
Bread
and that.
I love the fact someone who's named a shop after themselves. I'm not going to say what we sell. It's named after me or nothing, or I'm not opening.
Mainly potatoes and bread. White sliced loaves, King Edward's.
And the teacher used to always say, just write something different in there, make something up. Because, like, you know, Monday, Tuesday, all the way through to Friday, every night, it was just, went to you phase.
Went to you.
So you sort of, you
Are you sure it wasn't an advert? Sure he wasn't paying you to say, get my name in the book?
Yeah.
The only time that it changed, and she said, oh, that's made it a bit more interesting, was when it was my birthday, and I had to buy a cake.
Potatoes and a cake.
And she said, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That was my 13th birthday. My mum said, I got home from school, she said, oh, you're 13 today. Teenager, big turnover. Go and get a cake.
That's your experience of writing?
No, what?
Well,
no, that's your experience of your 13th birthday. Oh, by the way, you're 13 today, go and get a cake.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Big surprise? Was it a big surprise?
Yeah.
yeah, that is brilliant. I love it.
That's the only sort of writing.
What, and they never asked you to write essays or stories?
Did you never write a story or a poem or a...
The stories I did earlier on were, you know, you made them up, but it was that thing that I'd always end them with, and an alarm went off and it was all a dream.
Every single one of them.
Yeah. But they didn't. I mean, it was a bit of a.
I bought some potatoes and some bread. Then I woke up and it was all a dream.
No. Then I went to shops and bought some potatoes and bread. But did you ever do anything that write about an adventure when you were a spaceman, or you were a cowboy, or no?
All the teachers had scams going on. So in English, right? You'd go in there and the teacher would say, right, what we're doing today is, got a load of brochures from Thomson, but they say 1983 on the front, so I've got a load of stickers here that say 1984, let's see how many you can do in half an hour.
You are joking.
Did you go to school with Oliver Twist?
Sorry, you are joking.
I'm not, that's what they did. So the teacher must have been getting a freebie or something for helping them out. Honestly, yeah, that's what it was.
That is fantastic.
They were all at it. They were all
other than Mr. Fagan, you had...
Yeah. And then when they saw Karate Kid, they had every kid washing their car going, wax on, wax off, hurry up. Yeah. I'm teaching you something. Wax on, wax off, paint the fence.
So I'm just saying, that's why I'm a bit quiet, because you're talking about stuff I can't
relate to.
And why didn't you sleep last night?
I haven't slept well since I was about 12. Do you sleep well, Steve?
Oh, wait, you can't let that go! I haven't slept well since I was 12. What do you mean?
Do you know, a proper... I used to love going to bed as a kid.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's oh, am I going to sleep tonight? And I sort of wake up about 4 times. Right. Whereas when you're a kid, I remember really loving, going to bed. There was one time where I actually laughed myself to sleep because I couldn't believe me luck.
What's wrong with him? What do you mean you laugh yourself?
Have you ever had it when you're really tired and you get in bed and the pillows feel
it's all cold. Yeah,
and it's I can't believe this.
Yeah,
and it happened twice. Once when I just went to bed and I was really looking forward to it, and also when I helped my dad out once, through the night. He worked at this paper company, right? And I helped him out, and I got in at about 4 in the morning with him. Got in bed, and I just was I was laughing my head off. I had to put the pillow over my head because I couldn't believe me luck. I was oh, this is great. This, I'm going to sleep.
I just have to say, life up north is so extraordinary.
No, but you must be the easiest kid in the world to please. No wonder she knew she could just go get a cake. It's sort of what was he expecting her to say? He were expecting an extra hour in bed, but we got him cake as well.
I love that. Any supper, brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah. Your own bed. How long was it before you got your own? What did you used to do before? Just some straw in the corner?
No, it's just that thing of when you're really tired and...
Did you ever do this with Suzanne, though? Do you ever laugh yourself to sleep with her?
No, that's what I mean.
She can't sleep because you're chuckling away.
I don't know what's up with me. I've got a lot going on.
Carl was in Heat this week, and they mentioned that he does this thing on Sky. What is it?
It was this thing with Richard Bacon, some programme about watching telly, and you just talk about what you're watching, and that. And
he was annoyed because he said his parents are out, and so he's not doing it. He's not going to turn up because they mentioned it in Heat.
And so his parents might watch?
Yeah.
Why are you worried about that?
I don't like them watching stuff, do I? I've told you. It dates back to when I did Little Donkey at school. I don't want people watching me.
What's that? Just renew us on Little Donkey. What happened?
It was just, you know, I was there to play the drums and that, in We Three Kings. I was loving it, you know. I got a bit carried away.
How old were you?
About 13, right?
Really?
Probably.
Yeah.
About 10 probably.
Yeah.
6.
Between 6 and
How old were you? What school were you at?
Okay, you were playing Little Donkey.
Yeah.
And,
No,
no, but it was one of them schools where everyone sort of was in the same one. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, a Manchester school. Just
What
the
do
one
you
classroom.
mean?
Well, it's like you.
What, sweeping chimneys in the day and then 1 hour of learning? What are you talking about? What school were you at? Was it infants, junior or secondary?
Didn't really do that. It was one
What
where.
do you mean? You did that? They still have to abide by the laws of the land in Manchester.
No, but it was a lot more like you had infants, but
Yeah.
you also had like the older lot. There's kids there who, when you're in the younger year and that, you'd see kids and you go, "Is that?"
Talk English and use terms that people do when they're talking about schooling.
I don't even want to talk about this.
No, how old were you? What oh.
I'm guessing maybe 6 or 7 or 8.
So you went from 13 to 6?
Yeah, but like I say, it's hard to remember because
Imagine if you were giving evidence in a trial.
Yeah. How old were you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I can't really narrow it down other than 7 years either way.
You know, theoretically,
Yeah.
he could get called up for jury service. Right, you're on.
a lot of mates who I had didn't have enough money to go on holiday, and they just get a present for the summer holiday.
I would just like...
Of course, they got an education, so it's always
Yeah, but Carl, the thing is with Carl is, right, I want to give him gifts.
Yeah.
I want him to have the loveliest Christmas ever. I want him to go pony trekking. Do you know what I mean? I want to just...
Scared of horses.
So many things we don't know about Carl.
Fell off one out of fate, and the woman didn't know what to do. She couldn't handle the horse. It was running off. I was hanging underneath, getting a kick in the head. No,
Really?
Now, hang on, what age were you? This could explain a lot.
I was about 6.
That makes a lot of sense. I think we got to the bottom of it here.
Oh no, got kicked in the head by a horse, lived in a caravan, and had to live in Wales half the time. Oh. Then no wonder this is your favourite time of the week. Do you look forward to this all week, these 2 hours?
It's alright. My mate, right, he was religious. And I'm not, really. But...
No, I mean, you believe in ghosts, though, and shadows pushing people off bikes, but go on.
But it's the same time, I think I told you once before that I went to the church with this lad because I swore and he said he was going to tell me dad.
Yeah.
I was effing and jeffing. So he said if you're going
Is that how they get people to church nowadays?
I love that one kid that he hasn't got the idea of the protection game. There's nothing in it for him. Either you turn to religion or I tell your father.
Right, so I went to church with him and that, and then the next week he said, I know that was rubbish and you didn't enjoy it. It's when I got kicked out for messing with a tennis ball in the pews, right?
I don't think we've heard that, but I don't think we can possibly go into that now.
Summed it up.
Yeah.
So,
Well, no.
Come on, we'll come back to that. You had a tennis
That's the
Oh,
ball and
story.
some pubes.
No, in the pews.
In the pews, right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I went there and I said, I don't think much of this church thing, it's a bit boring.
Sorry, and so you went to church and you ended up in the Crusades?
No, but it's called the Crusaders. What it is, it's meant to be the fun part of religion for kids.
Right.
And my mate said, oh, you want to come along? It's, you know, you go on a Friday night and do it on a Sunday as well. Right, so I went on the Friday night, it was brilliant. They had Sabutio, played table tennis in this dead big old house.
And what do they do at the end? Say, I hope you enjoy yourself. Remember God gave you all this.
Well, it's sort of, you know, enjoy the simple things in life. You don't need computer games, you can play table tennis and that, and talk with your friends.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's alright.
I think you'd be happy in a young offenders institution. You get to clean the toilets there
But
as
don't
well.
forget, Carl, I think God invented Nintendo too.
Right. Well, anyway, so that was alright. I loved it on the Friday.
Yeah.
And my mate said if you go for 4 weeks in a row without missing a day,
Yeah.
you get a free badge. And, I was
And
like,
salvation.
Oh, I don't like all this sort of being stuck in stuff. Do you know what I mean? That's putting my head in about
then it gets
school.
tied down.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, every day. Right, so, anyway, so you've got to come again on Sunday, so I thought, well, we'll have another game of table tennis, it'll be alright.
Yeah.
So anyway, I go on the Sunday.
Who was this servant of God?
Right. I go on the Sunday, it's like a totally different club. There's no table tennis.
That's how they trick you.
No Sabutio.
Yeah.
They start handing out Bibles.
Oh.
And
It's
I
like a
was like,
timeshare
hang on a minute, right?
They trick you.
So I didn't go again on Sundays. I used to just go on the Friday.
Just go on the Friday. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'm amazed no one else saw through that.
Well, the thing is, there used to be loads there on the Friday, so I thought they won't even notice if I'm not, like,
Yeah,
do you
sure.
know what I mean? That I'm not showing up on a Sunday. So anyway, carried on, it was
Just
brilliant.
this kid in the vicar?
Oh, I love that. You got one over on the church.
So I was loving it, right, playing table tennis and that, and then on a Sunday, they found out where I live, and the head fella started coming round, knocking on the door.
It's God.
He's everywhere, Rick.
Why did he knock?
The fella...
For likeness.
The fella who, like, ran the club, he started coming around knocking on the door, and I saw him coming up the path, and I said to my mum, "Oh, it's the fella from the Crusaders."
Yeah.
She didn't even know what I was...
No.
She
She
was
thought
like,
you were
"What
off
are
nicking
talking
hubcaps
about?"
and stealing cars.
She didn't have a clue what I was talking about.
You've been going to church.
to church? I don't
You
believe it.
little bleeder.
That's not how we brought you up.
So, I said, "Look, just tell him I'm not in, tell him I'm not in," and then she had to keep doing this, and they were coming round every Sunday to try and make me, like, go on a Sunday. It was really important that I went, and that I was abusing the system and all this. Anyway, I didn't go, and then...
Why didn't they just tell you on next time we turned up on a Friday?
Yeah.
No, well, because there was so many people there on a Friday, you just get mixed in the crowd.
Yeah.
It was jammed. It was well popular on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, on one of the Sundays, it was quiet for a bit, and they stopped coming round. So I thought, right, I can go out again, right, on a Sunday, because I used to avoid hanging around the house in case
What
it-
sort of reign of terror is this?
Incredible.
So I thought,
It's like
right,
the Spanish Inquisition.
so I thought, great, they forgot about me.
Yeah.
Everything, I can carry on in sort of normal life now.
Yeah.
And I was playing out in the avenue. Fella comes round.
Oh.
And he goes, "There you are. You know, you're always busy on a Sunday. You enjoy Fridays and that, don't you?" I was like, yeah. He goes, "Well, come on, you've got to come with me." And I couldn't get out of it. You know what I mean? It's like, what could I say?
Charlie says.
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, nearly in a car crash. So that was the excuse I used next time. He had a Mini, right? And he was driving us there, and he hit the curb, nearly sort of turned over the Mini. Right? There was like 3 of us in the back. So I said...
Is that a record?
So next time,
Or was it a joke?
Next time he came round to pick us up, I said, "Look, really enjoyed it and that." I said, "But ever since that journey, I really, you know, I don't want to get in the car with you again because it scared me a bit." And I said, "All right then, I didn't have to go again."
That's all right, isn't it?
That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
He almost in a car
It's a
crash.
parable that thank God no one was hurt.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Your life moves in incredible ways.
Yeah.
Rather like God.
Yeah. So,
So there you go.
they're probably round there now, aren't they? Going, is he coming tomorrow? So, would you like to start on your, to Steve, because I've heard all these.
Well, we won't do them all.
Well, we'll start off with the Mr. Freeze. Tell Steve the story of Mr. Freeze. This is the first time he nearly died.
This is the most serious of the lot, really. So, what it was, do you know, like, I don't know if your mum and dad did the same thing, but, like, they do the weekly shopping on like a Friday.
Yep.
So when you got to Thursday, there wouldn't be much stuff left in the cupboard. It'd just be like, you know, your Jacob's crackers and stuff like that. So when they'd been to the supermarket and they came back, I was like, you know, what's that saying? Like a pig in... You know, I loved it. It was like loads of food coming in, loads of biscuits.
What is that saying?
He nearly said pig in.
Right.
Is that the same?
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, all this food comes in.
Thank God he didn't.
Otherwise he'd have been in trouble.
That's true enough.
Because he's culpable for our actions, because
Exactly.
he's the producer. So technically, that twat's in charge. Go on.
Right, so anyway, so there's loads of food, and I'm like, oh yeah, look at this, and chocolate biscuits, and, you know, penguins and stuff.
Bacon.
And bacon.
Just in case, you never know.
So anyway, my mum and dad's putting the food away. Me and our kid are like, he's already grabbed something, gone back upstairs.
It's like feral children. it's like a quest for fire. And then they run upstairs. What did you sit under the bed, gnawing at some sort of pig's trotter?
So I saw, do you remember Mr. Freeze Pops?
I do. Yeah. So they're kind of like popsicles, icicles.
Yeah, but really long, like a foot long, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll have one of them, so I grabbed it,
Went for the nutritious stuff first.
Absolutely.
And like, my mum and dad are putting this stuff away and what have you. And I rip it open and knock it back, right? Straight away, just right back like
Swallow
that.
it straight away, yeah.
But it went down the wrong way, right? So I
What,
was
down
like,
your shirt?
So I was like, oh god, I can't breathe, and my mum and dad didn't even know what I'd ate. Do you know what I mean? I ate it so quick.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of tapping my mum on the back, going, she's going, oh god, you know, he's choking again, because I was always choking. If it was one thing, I don't know if I've got like a small throat, but I mean, even Ricky knows I can't drink that much, can I?
Yeah.
Do you know,
Or eat pebbles.
I'm not a quick drinker. I'd always, I think I'm scared of like swallowing stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like bottle tops and mint imperials and stuff. I was always choking on stuff. So anyway, she's going, oh god, what's he picked up on that now?
Drop it.
So-
And she hit his nose with a stick.
So I was going, oh, I'm choking. At this point, my dad had like, I think he'd put his share away, you know, his food away, and he'd gone.
His share. I love it.
Yeah.
He'd gone to watch like Winner Takes All or whatever in the lounge, and I was in the kitchen, and I was starting to like I didn't care anymore. Do you know what I mean? I just got to that point where I wasn't struggling anymore.
You just thought, I'm done
I just
for.
was like falling to the ground. And my mum's going, you know, get in here, I think it's serious. My dad comes in and sort of starts shouting at me, saying that's what you get for being greedy. He didn't even know what I'd eaten.
Well, it was the moment to teach you a lesson, certainly.
So he's there like that, and my mum's going, oh, look at him, and my lips were going purple, and my eyes were rolling into the back of my head.
You look like Marilyn Manson.
And so anyway, she grabbed me from behind and did that fireman thing.
The Heimlich manoeuvre.
Yeah. And, you know, winded me, and it came up, and I was alright.
What, the whole popsicle came flying back out?
You see, that's what I don't understand, because there was nothing there.
No, just a little bit. No, it swells up, doesn't it? Because it irritated it, so it went down your sort of like your epiglottis. It went down the wrong way, like it went into your air canal instead of your throat, and it sort of spasms, and that's the fear. You just got to calm it down and relax.
So in time, I would have been alright.
Yeah,
anyway.
you don't.
Well, no, you might have.
So that's so that's
hang on,
one.
but
No, but the weird thing is, like, for like 3 days after that, I felt like a sort of special person. I went to school.
I'm saying nothing.
I did full days.
a special needs person.
Yeah.
I went to school the next 3 days after that. I didn't like wag it or anything. I did full days.
I love that. 3 days, turned over in a leaf.
Yeah, exactly. After 3 days, you thought, screw it.
Yeah, did a quick history exam.
But have you ever had that where you've like felt like I've been given another chance here?
Right, next one.
weird.
That's popsicle. That's popsicle hell. We'll call that. Right, next one.
Which one's the next one?
Oh, what about your paper round?
Right.
Can I ask very quickly, did your life flash before your eyes like they say it did?
No, I just sort of went really calm and like, I'm ready for this now.
Right.
I wasn't bothered, do you know what I mean?
You had no regrets?
No. It was weird. Just really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, the paper round one. Paper round, I'd still say it's the best job I've ever had.
And he means it!
No, I really enjoyed it. It's like, you know, you don't have to work with anyone else, right? So you make your own rules.
Just think of that.
You know, you sort of
You're spreading information
to
people,
yeah,
vital information.
giving a service,
Yeah.
and no one else is around. You know, you can just do what you want and think about stuff whilst you're cycling around on your bike. It's really good.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Imagine the stuff he's thinking about when he's riding around his
I
bike.
can't. Oh, so getting in the head of a salamander.
so anyway, I loved it, and even though I only got like 50p a day, right, no matter what the weather was like and stuff, I used to get up at 4:30 and go and do the round, and
Why'd you get up at 4:30?
because I wanted to watch the Pink Panther at 5:30, so I wanted to get me paper round done.
I said, why didn't you watch Pink Panther?
And then do the paper.
He went, oh, I can't sit there thinking I've got my paper round to do.
He'll ruin it for him.
Yeah, so is it a good job or not?
So 4:30 I was up and about, and this morning it was like winter, really bad winter, bad snow, you know, freezing cold, really windy and all that. And my mum said to me before I went to bed, she said, don't be getting up tomorrow, I'll give you the 50p. I said, it's not about the 50p. So, you know, people want the papers and stuff. So,
Conscientious.
So anyway, I went to bed thinking, you know, that's it, I've told her I'm still going, so, you know, whatever. Go to sleep, get up in the morning, and put all my kit on. And I used to have layers of clothing on because it was really cold. I had like a big anorak on with the fur on. I had like waterproof pants, and I got my paper round bag. And I went downstairs to get out, and tried to open the door, and it was locked. Oh, God. So she'd locked it so I couldn't go out, so I'm searching around the house looking for the keys. She must have hid them somewhere. Oh, you know, I've got the papers to do. So I thought, how can I get out? So I went upstairs, climbed out of the bathroom window.
God.
Right, and to try and jump out of the bathroom window onto the porch. But the problem was, I had so much gear on, I was like the Michelin Man. So I could hardly move as it is.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get out the window, and I'm like, trying to stretch down like that, get my foot on the porch, and my bag got caught on like the hook of, do you know, like how you have a hook so you can put the window open?
Right, yeah,
the little arm goes on. My bag had got caught on that. I was holding on to the wall and my foot on the thing, so I couldn't sort of pull it away in case I pulled it away and then fell on my head.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck there.
Dangling.
My dad comes back from working nights.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm a burglar.
Gets out his gun.
So he's shouting and stuff, going mad and going, Dad, it's me. And he had to give us a hand using a...
He's heard that wily trick in Manchester before.
He had to help me using a washing prop thing. A big stick.
What did he do?
Well, he said, just hold on for your dear life, and I'll sort of push the paper bag off the hook.
Why didn't he go upstairs and sort it out?
It was at that point where I was in the middle, there was nothing you could do, do you know what I mean? It's at that point where you've just got to make a decision.
Yeah.
And by the time you got upstairs, who knows what might have happened. Sure. Do you know what I mean? You've got to act there and then, not messing around.
Yeah.
So...
And you could hear downstairs, now here he is, the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Dad!
Hurry up!
Pink Panther, ever so pink. Oh.
So that was close to death, because I must have been about 30 foot in the air.
Yeah.
And I would have, you know, that would have been nasty if I fell to the concrete paving, so...
Well, there's more to come. Should we play a record and come back to this? Because he's got more.
Oh yeah, there must be one of them where you did fall on your head. This is the one I'm waiting for. There's got to be one. That would explain so much.
Yeah.
I nearly broke my back.
Jeez.
Once. My dad said I better can't kick me height. And I said I better can. And
I don't remember this. You didn't tell me this one.
No, but it can't what?
I was in the garden summer's day, and it was that era when, like, doing kung fu and all that was really popular.
Sure.
And I was, like, messing about in the garden, punching the tree and stuff. And my dad said...
What a kid he must have been.
My dad said, I bet you can't kick your height.
Kick your height? What do you mean, kick as high as yourself?
Yeah, so I must have been, like, 5 foot or something then. And I said, of course I can. So I bet you can't. But instead of doing it on the grass, I did it on, like, the concrete bit. Kicked it, actually did it. I went, there you go. But then, like, get my foot down quick enough and land on my back.
You paused to say, there, I've done it. Yeah. As opposed to putting your foot back on the ground.
And landed on my back, and I'd still get back trouble now.
Do you?
Because they say that, don't they?
So, to cut a long story short, he gave me about 4 or 5 near-death experiences, and he went, and the whole point of this, he went, so that's why I think I'm gonna die of something horrible, like cancer. And I went, why? He went, right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
He said, well, I don't check my balls. Wait. He said, I don't like the feel.
Karl, have you ever logged on to Friends Reunited? It was the site that everyone was talking about last year.
No.
Are you aware of the concept?
I've heard about it, but there's no one from school who'd want to see it again, really.
So basically, for those that don't know, you have to log on to his website, and then you can it helps you track down your old schoolmates if they've also logged on and stuff. And we sort of took the liberty, really, of looking on the Friends Reunited site and typing in your school and trying to track down any of your old mates. We didn't get in touch with any of them, don't worry.
We didn't do that.
We're not going to surprise you with them now.
No.
But I was just interested to know, like, some of your thoughts on some of the names that I could run past you. I mean, these are people from your year. Just tell me if you recognise the names. Alison Birch?
Think I remember her.
What's your thoughts on it?
Don't
be libelous.
Don't be like no.
No. Posh probably did pretty well in history and that.
Sarah Morris?
God, yeah. Remember her.
Go on. You're grinning. What's the thought? Go on.
No, just she was alright. She was a popular one.
What does that mean?
She was nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what about Darren Buckley?
He was one of my best mates.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What do you reckon he's doing now? Do you still keep in touch?
When my mum and dad were still in Manchester and they had a butty shop, he used to go in because the bookies was next door.
I love the way you paint a picture. If you did this in your history exam, Carl, you will walk it.
Go on. So your parents had a butty shop. There was a bookies next door.
Yeah, and he liked having a bit of a gamble, so he used to. I think he works for some insurance company.
Do you think that his fiancée Beth knows he's got a gambling problem?
Yeah.
Or that his 2-year-old son Lewis?
No.
Yeah, they live in Cheadle Holme.
Hume.
Cheadle Hume.
He must be doing well. 'Cause
He's still supporting the Blue Army and frequents the shrine on a fortnightly basis.
funny thing with him is, right, when I used to stay over at his house, and his dad was a copper, and I remember his dad came down and said, right, I want to see you two. I was like, oh God, what's happened? And got us round the table. And he said, do you know much about drugs? So we were like, what's all this about? So he goes, you know, they're not good for anyone, you know, the stupid thing to get into. And we're like, yeah, we know. And he went, you know, do you? We said, yeah. He said, what's this then? And he'd found something in his bedroom, and it was a Skittle.
What, the sweet?
You know, little sweets with the S on it. And
Oh, really?
Drugs.
Yeah.
So he said, well, yeah, it's a Skittle. Yeah, I know what it is.
Oh, he was bluffing like that as a slang word.
Yeah, he thought because he was a copper, he probably had to be down with all the terms and that. So we said, oh, it's a Skittle. And he said, yeah, I know what it is, but what's it doing in your bedroom?
Oh.
And it was like, no, it's a toffee. So, Darren, no.
Yeah, I know, it's a toffee, it's a squib, it's a, yeah.
Carl, more people from your past. Debbie Carr?
Yeah, she was another nice one.
What does that mean? Is that a euphemism?
No, she was one of them that you'd sort of go, she's nice, but she'd never be your girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? She was,
Not really.
even though she was in the same year, she seemed a lot older.
Right.
And like,
Wasn't a teacher, was it?
there was 3 of them who all hung together, and they seemed to hang around like the older kids, the ones who looked like men. Do you know what I mean? They had
Yeah.
What did you look like then?
Well, it's just that I had youthful sort of looks, whereas like the older ones had like beards and stuff.
It's a gang of boys in the 5th form with beards. Were they smoking pipes? Come over here, me filly. Oi, Debbie Carr, come over here, you little beauty.
But she was like,
I love that. They were hanging around with beards. There's the big boys. Oh, fishing. Oh, it's lovely beards. What do you
I
mean?
just see a whole row of George Bernard Shaws. Brilliant.
How do you do in history, boy?
Yeah.
Think on E. You're an idiot. Oh.
they were like, you know, I'd be there sort of punching people in the arm. Cause we used to play that
Oh, that's a
skill.
great game.
Oh, I love that punch people in the arm.
Is that part of the Olympics now?
it's I think it was exhibition this year.
Right.
But it's
going to be a pro next
it's going to be the Winter Olympics because you've got to do it in just a cap sleeve shirt
Sure.
in winter. Yeah.
So you're playing that?
She, but whilst I
But
was
she didn't
doing
appreciate that. She used to go, ow!
that, you know, I always think whilst I was doing that, they were like the Charlie's Angels, and they'd be sorting out a mission somewhere because they were really like there was something about them that you thought, you know, it was special.
They were private detectives.
What do they work for a man they never see?
Okay, well, here's a name I'm interested in, because, well, let me just tell you the name first. Adam Clifton. Oh. Go on, what are your thoughts on Clifton?
He was one of them kids, he was alright, but he had that thing when, if you didn't have enough milk, he had like, wrinkly hands and like white bits in his nails.
Oh!
Because you didn't have enough milk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, therefore, you didn't like him because you didn't get enough milk?
This is not to be confused with the 2 people with the big heads and the web feet, is it?
Webbed hands.
Well, this was
I know that they weren't related. They must have been somewhere along the evolutionary sort of trail. Do you know what I mean? They must have come from the same sort of stock.
But
you wouldn't have liked him. He's just one of them people. He was alright, but
well, before you say any more, on Friends United, you can leave a little message which explains what you've been doing and what your life's like now. And most people leave maybe 2 paragraphs.
Yeah.
Adam, I've printed it off. He seems to have printed. I think there's about 6 pages here. of stuff. He keeps updating it, and he just basically lists his memories about everyone, okay, at the school, and what he thinks of everyone. And, he says, I often see Simon, he's doing alright for himself, self-employed illustrator, Mark Cooper, Karl Pilkington.
Right.
And your name comes up. Now, I don't know if you've told us this story. I think you may have done, but I can't remember the facts about it. It just says, Karl Pilkington, with his pet bird. Was it a magpie? I can't remember. He brought it to school to show everyone, and it flew away.
Oh, God! Oh, no, they do that, don't they? You show them
What was the story then,
You
Carl?
give them seeds and they just leave. What do you mean?
Well,
This sounds like Kes.
well, that's it. I was a big fan of Kes. And, it was the time our dog had just died.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any pets, and the cats were always getting run over.
Yeah.
And, so we didn't want any more pets.
Yeah.
But there was a magpie that used to fly about on the estate, and I managed to sort of tame it. And, in the end...
With a chair and a whip? What do you mean you tamed it?
Well, just used to sort of hang around it and talk.
How did
to
you
it.
get hold of it? Did you catch it?
Well, eventually, yeah, it used to just come to me, and the annoying thing was, it got to a point when I wish I hadn't bothered, because it used to pop me bike tyres. It used to sit on like, if I was talking to my mates and I was on my grifter.
I love the way you just throw things in.
It's like an Alan Bennett play.
It landed on my tyre, and it used to peck at the tyre and pop it, and then it used to then never go away, so it was always like around the house, and my dad said never bring it in. So it used to sit on the porch, and I used to go out, and it used to fly down and land on my head, and it really hurt. It used to like peck and stuff.
He thought it was a tyre.
So it wasn't so much tamed as a stalker.
Oh, God.
So you took it to school and it flew away?
Yeah.
So did you take it in proudly going, look at my magpie? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I think it got a bit confused in the area that it was in, because I used to just keep it sort of around our estate, but
Sure.
the school was a bit of a distance away.
How did you get it
So,
there?
carrying it on my finger.
Did you walk?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was happy there, and then it got...
But it used to be one of those things that people would stop me in the street and sort of go, oh, what's that?
And I don't suppose
Maggie, called it Maggie.
you didn't get Charlie's Angels to go and find out what happened to it? Investigate?
Were they impressed?
No, not really.
A few more names that you may recall from Friends Reunited.
Go on.
Lisa Shufflebotham? Do you remember her?
Yeah, she,
Was she one of Charlie's Angels?
no, she wasn't that nice, but she wanted me. her and her mate Rachel, I remember, I don't know why, but it was some sort of PE lesson where it had to be a bloke and two girls, and they were fighting over me.
Could you hear what they were saying?
They were just like, I want him, and I was loving it. Stuck in the middle, and they were fighting over me. And then the next week, I thought I'll sit near them.
What sort of game do they play at this school?
I don't know,
That's an incredible game.
but I think
Punch me on the arm. No, punch me on the arm, Carl.
they just went through it, because the following week I thought, right, I'll sit near them again, because I quite enjoyed the way they fighted over me. But then they picked somebody else, and I don't know who I was with that week.
So you didn't get any action with Shufflebotham or a friend?
No. And as she got older, she went a bit off. She didn't look that good. She's probably nice now. It's just, I mean, I'll say about myself, when you get to sort of the end of secondary school, you do sort of go a bit odd looking.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? When your sort of head grows funny.
I would just love to go back to his school of that era. I mean, just what happened to people, whether, you know, all people sprouting limbs
No, do you know
and
what I mean?
things.
When you're like 12 and that, you quite... No, not 12. When you're 10. When you're 7 to 10, you sort of look healthy, and you look at your pictures when you go, yeah, I was a good-looking lad. But then when you get to late secondary school, something happens,
Yeah.
and you just look a bit odd.
Okay, well, what about Alison Thorpe?
Not sure about her. I sort of know the name, can't put a face to it.
Damien Comer?
Again, know the name,
Yeah.
can't remember anything.
No.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Well, these are pretty much all the names I could find. We've had some interesting thoughts, though, and interesting anecdotes.
Yeah.
Anyone in particular that you'd like to say hello to that maybe listening now that
No,
you...
I think I would have mentioned Darren Buckley if you hadn't have brought him up.
Oh, right.
He was like me buddy.
Yeah. Did you ever see the magpie again when you took it to the school and confused it?
No.
You're joking. That was the end of it, was it?
Yeah.
So where did it go?
Probably to some other kid, because I mean, actually, it probably got killed Because if it was being that friendly with other people, some people might have took advantage of it.
In what way?
Well, there was a programme on the other week about...
What, in the way that Shufflebotham was trying to take advantage of you?
There was a programme on the other week about bear whisperers.
Yeah.
And some blokes got really friendly with a bear, and then when they were leaving that area where the bear was, they said, "Oh, we've caused a problem here, because there's some bear hunters coming in and moving into this area, and it's going to get a bullet if it acts like this," so they had to scare it away, and that's what I should have done with Maggie. I should have terrified it a little bit, so it wouldn't trust humans.
Just introduced it to some of your schoolmates, I'm sure would have freaked it right out.
Well, the ones with
maybe that was why it fled.
It didn't see. It didn't see those two fellas with big heads and webbed hands coming towards it, did it?
That would have terrified anything. It's like a scarecrow, like two walking scarecrows.
Express 2 featuring David Byrne, Lazy, XFM 104.9, quarter to 2. I'm Ricky Gervais. Steve's got the Sun.
Yes,
we're just going to be doing White Van Karl, where we ask Karl the questions the Sun asked some other bloke.
That's right.
Because we think Karl's got more to say than anyone on anything. Karl only tells the truth, by the way. Just remember that, listeners. Off you go.
Yes, well, today's White Van Man in the Sun is John Slade. He owns his own door maintenance company. His answers are very informative, I have to say. But, Karl, what do you make of the Channel 4 producer, aged 30, who duped a school into believing he was a teenager for a documentary? Are you familiar with this story?
No, go on.
Well, basically a 30-year-old guy kind of fooled the school into thinking he was a pupil for a secret documentary. The school's outraged. Do you think that that's, for you, should anything go when it comes to making TV?
I think I've said to you before, there's loads of kids at my school. I remember being in the first year, and kids who, what year do schools go up to? I was in the first year, what is it?
11.
5?
Oh, sorry, first year of infants and juniors.
No, secondary school.
11.
Right, year 11. Kids have beards and stuff.
No, not year 11. They're 11 when they first go to secondary school.
Right, well, I'm 11. The kids at the older end.
Well, there's a fifth form, and then there's
you can leave when you're 16, I think, can't you now?
Right, well, kids who were 16 looked old. They did have beards. I remember going there and thinking some of them were teachers.
I think he's answered that. Next one, what's the next one?
Tattoos and everything. I think they had kids in the earlier years, even.
What do you make of the fact that Mariah Carey's £38 million payoff has cost EMI staff their jobs, and we're talking 1,800 EMI staff who have lost their jobs?
What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean,
is that silly money, Mariah Carey, on 38 million?
She doesn't need that much.
She doesn't need that much. She has to dress nice, though.
It's not her fault. I'd say it's bad business.
Okay.
Because EMI, did you say?
Yes.
Right. They've got rid of them staff.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's left. Who's going to do the work?
do you think Mariah should come back and do some temping?
Well, they should have got a loan and paid her.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Vicious circle, that.
Right.
Have you done a business degree or anything? Have you?
Commerce.
You did commerce. Where did you do that? What did you do with that?
At school, I'd learned how to fill out a cheque, pay a bill, and I think I had a trip round Kellogg's.
Did you get an O-level or GCSE?
We know you didn't.
You know, I didn't.
But was there a commerce exam, or was it just a division of
Can't
maths?
remember.
What did you fill out a cheque?
Subset of
It
maths.
was an option. It was like, if you want to do it, you can.
What was it? Fill out a cheque.
Pay a bill.
Pay a bill.
Have a visit round
Round
Kellogg's.
Kellogg's, and I saw my sister's boyfriend there at the time. He sorted me out with some variety packs.
Really? What was in them?
You know, Rice Krispies and
Good stuff.
Cocoa Pops?
Space Dust or whatever it is.
Space Dust.
So, sorry, that wasn't Ken Dodd, though.
No.
That was someone else, wasn't it? That was an aunt.
Yeah, that wasn't Special K.
What do you make of fears that dumped Britney Spears? She's been dumped by her boyfriend. There's worries that she may be cracking up, Karl. You concerned?
What are the signs?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I'm just reading from this section, but I would assume that she's obviously showed signs of depression, maybe.
She'll be alright. I remember, like, Zoe Harris. when she sort of got bored of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Get over it, I don't even think about her now.
What, and how long did it take you to get over as a...
Zoe Harris.
How long did it take
To be honest, right, it was like one of my first girlfriends, and she was a pain. I remember I went out with her because she wouldn't stop hassling me, right?
Yeah.
I remember...
I love that. Oh, go on,
I
then.
never talked to her, and then the bit that really got me, I thought I half liked her, and then I remember, right, we were at a school party, sort of infant school.
Infant school?
Right.
Are you sure it wasn't junior school?
Well, it's on the cusp.
Yeah.
Like, when you're about to leave infants and go to the next one.
Yeah.
And, she was crying because...
You were saying, I don't think we should move in together.
She was crying.
She was crying.
How old was she?
Had you stolen her milk?
She must have been nearly 6. Why didn't she grow up?
No, she was crying because somebody had stood on her dress and put a bit of an hole in it. And I said, oh, for God's sake.
I can't stand it. Oh,
So
God.
you...
I just think him.
So you gave her a slap?
I just think of him, like, 6, like, with clogs and a flat cap, going slightly bald, going, for Christ's sake, woman, come on.
Oh, light my pipe.
I finished it because all her mates were saying, come on, Carl, she's upset. And I was like, oh, whatever. So again.
Hold on, no. Wait a minute. What do you mean all the mates were saying, like, come on, Carl? They were 6, weren't they?
Yeah, but they were saying, come on, she's crying. Help her out.
And,
Like,
and you did nothing?
I got...
Injured? Got a hole in her skirt.
Yeah, but she was upset and you were her boyfriend.
Well,
So what did you do? Tell me the story. Where were
it
you?
didn't work out.
You were at some kind of school do. There was a hole in her
That's why
dress.
it didn't work out, he said.
Do you treat your current girlfriend in the same way? This callous disregard for someone's
His current girlfriend does not tread on her dress. Does she? Oh, she didn't.
So, as far as you're concerned, what was her name? Sarah?
Zoe.
Zoe Harris. She just felt like, well, you know, if she's going to make her whinge about, you know, a silly little hole, screw her.
Yeah.
You're all heart, Carl.
What would you have done?
I'd have gone over there and give her a lovely kiss.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
We were playing Dead Arm.
If you had hair, what would it be like?
What do you mean?
Well, you obviously had hair then, back then. What was the style?
It was like, sort of, I had quite sort of, fine, sort of straight hair.
Yeah.
Right.
Hairdresser once said to me, you've got hair of a Chinaman.
He was a wise man, wasn't he? What do you think that meant then? Oh.
He just said, he just said you got the same hair as a Chinese man has. Very straight, quite fine.
Why is he telling you? I just imagine this pal going, the Arsenal did well, didn't it, sir? do. Shall I do something like that? You have the hair of a Chinaman. I'm sorry, nothing. You're not the spy. No, I'm not. Thank you. Good night. Oh,
You're not like one.
yeah, lovely. You have the feet of a fish. I'm sorry, nothing. It's not you. Okay, next. You have the hair of a Chinaman.
It was one of those barbers. It was a cheap one, just on a railway bridge.
I don't believe that. Go on.
On a railway bridge.
That's why it was cheap. It was very low rent, so he could charge.
That wasn't
50p.
the barber, that was a man with some scissors.
Yeah. Did you go, oh, I have to move you there, sir? Wow. Okay, back in the chair, sir.
I imagine them on one of those things you always see in old films where you've got
You have to
press
pump it up and down, yeah, like a seesaw. Yeah.
Not as good as that. It was just a normal chair, little wooden hut, and he did have to stop when a train came past because it used to.
Well, because he had to change the signal.
Just making a few extra bucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love
That's
that.
Manchester for you.
Oh, God.
I always
it
remember
wasn't Bernard Cribbins, was it?
I always remember him saying, "Do you want your hair washing?" And I said, "Is it free? You know, does it come with it?" And he said, "Yeah." So I said, "Oh, go on then." He said, "Hang on now, I'll just have to wash these mugs up." He had like a sink full of mugs.
Oh,
So I'll just
God.
take these out and then I can wash your head.
Oh, no.
And that's why.
Why did you go to this man?
It was cheap. It was
How
like
much was it?
About £2.
And when was this?
God. At 88, 89.
All right.
Yeah.
So what happened to your Chinese hair? When did it start coming out?
You have the hair of a bald Chinaman now, don't you?
You've got the hair of a Chinaman in a box now.
I used to just work a lot of hours, and I think.
That's what made it fall out.
Yeah, of course.
No, it's not. It's genetic. You can't stop
It's not genetic.
Of course it is.
Your dad old?
No, he's got more hair than me now, I think.
Is your mum?
Kojak's got more hair than you, Carl.
Anyway,
Don't have a go at Carl's hair. That's a bit harsh.
Oh, look at his little
what
face.
did he say before in that book about going bald? It said, it had a little tip, didn't it? We'll go over them later.
It says, if you're going thin, doesn't it say, cut your hair short and something like that?
So it makes you look thicker. I've never been into getting presents and that. I had the problem at that Christmas one, that time with the Victoria Plum.
Yeah, we'd hate that. We'd hate to bring that back.
We've done that.
Because you talked about the book, because it's kind of to do with your dad, isn't it? He's a very bad gift buyer, was that the problem?
Well, yeah, my dad just wouldn't bother. It was my mum who sort of made an effort, and she sort of worked out half of what I wanted, then she left it to my dad to get it off someone, see if he could get one cheap or whatever.
I love the fact that usually people talk about, like, drinking heavily or violent abuse, right?
Yeah.
But here's what he's been left with and scarred with from parents is bad gift buying.
Yeah, and
That's
the
not so
Victoria
bad, is
Plum
it?
incident.
In the greater scheme of things in the world,
Yeah, but-
that's not a bad thing to have, is it?
Right, there was this is what it's like about getting presents and stuff, right? With my mum and dad.
Go on.
My mate, Colin, right? He
Colin Mencken?
No, Colin Bailey.
Oh,
right? He had a little Sinclair Spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Computer,
Yeah.
which was like the thing to have at that
yeah,
time,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Used to always go round to his house. The deal was...
Not the one you had to play through the window because you weren't allowed to.
No, that's another lad.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This is a different lad, and the deal was, he came to our house, and my mum gave him a pie, and then I'd go round to his, and I'd stay there for a few hours playing, you know, Hungry Horace and stuff like that on it.
Sure.
Right? Now, my mum and dad knew that I really wanted one of these computers, right? So I waited about a year. Came round to Christmas Day, I thought, I reckon might have one. Turned out they bought me the wrong one. They bought me a ZX81 instead of a Spectrum, right? And Christmas Day, I'm there trying to load the games up. It's not working. I'm thinking, what's wrong, right? And the thing with me when I was a kid, I used to get quite sort of agitated.
This
quite
is
easy,
the moment.
right? I found out that he needed a RAM pack to make it work, right? Looking in the thing and it's saying, and make sure you put your RAM pack in the back. And I was like, oh, where's the RAM pack? And my dad's going, I don't know, I've got you the main bit. That's it. So, I was that wound up, I just was sick, right? Just sick. Oh, I didn't feel sick or anything, I just was like, oh god. Went to the sink, just sick. Because I was that on edge about it. I said, come on, we've got to get one. And my dad's like, Tandy's shut, we're not gonna get anything today. Ruined again, Christmas Day. That was after the year when my train set got blown up by our kid. The following year, no RAM pack. And now you ask me why don't I get good presents?
He's scarred. He just
I'm
threw
gonna
up.
die. Honestly, I'm gonna die. It's just being sick.
Yeah. There's no RAM pack.
Did you get to the bottom of it? Why wasn't there a RAM pack?
You have to buy them separate.
Oh,
It's one of them
okay.
cons.
What do you mean I can't play Frogger?
Oh no.
So, wasn't there another incident when you threw up? Spontaneously threw up?
Oh.
Through sheer anxiety?
I do get it. It's not so much now because I've relaxed a bit, but as a kid I used to be quite on edge all the time with certain things.
Do you think that's what happened to your
The
cat
wind.
that kept being sick? That it didn't get the food it wanted, and it just threw up. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
God, so they shaved it.
Yeah, but again, you see, the cat thing, I mean, it's mad. I was thinking about it the other day, right? I used to think I had quite a normal upbringing,
You didn't.
right? And someone was talking
Your
about the
mother
cat.
once told you not to go to school because it was windy, Carl. It
Yeah.
was not a normal
The
upbringing.
cat was being sick, so she shaved it, so it was easier to clean.
Right, well, my mum and dad went on holiday, right? And I stayed at the Rosses down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Only a kid, must have been about 5 or something, right? And I was always running around in the house. I had a lot of energy as a kid. What the Rosses did, they had this cat that was dead violent, the most violent sort of angry cat I have ever witnessed.
A tiger.
It was honestly, Steve, if it was bigger, it would have been, because it was just always having a go at you.
Yeah.
If you went to pat it on the head, it went to bite you and stuff. And what they used to do with it, to stop me running around, I'd sort of be running around, and then I'd get a bit tired, and they'd say, have a lie down on the settee. So I'd lie down on the settee and I'd nod off. And what they used to do, I'd wake up, and I'd put the cat on my belly. Right? So I'd be scared to move, because it's like it's going to get me.
But it would keep you there.
It kept me there, and it used to sort of slaver on me, and they'd sort of, you know, go out or whatever, and I'd be lying there. That's not normal, is it?
Carl, sorry, were you created by the Brothers Grimm for one of their fairy tales? What kind of a life is that?
Absolute twaddle. Absolute rubbish.
And all that business.
Oh, don't talk shit, Carl.
So, anyway, it's going to be...
Oh, Carl, you're talking so much shit again. You must know that's not true. There's no way. You're talking rubbish again.
This
is such shit. This is such...
What are you talking about?
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Right, calm down, we haven't got much time left.
Oh, God. What do you mean this is...
Forget it.
No, don't forget it. Carl, do not press that. Switch the record off. Switch the...
America for on the Enterprise. It was all about space. And there was one question, answer 3 right, and it was who was the first one into space? Yuri Gagarin. Who was doing that. And then the third question was how much bigger than the moon is the sun? Is it twice as big or 4 times as big? And this one went 4 times as big. Went correct. It's not. It's hundreds of times bigger.
A lot more big,
I can't believe. Can someone look that up on the internet and how many times bigger is the sun than the moon? It's not 4 times. It's huge. It's like beach ball to a pea type dimensions.
Which DJ was it? Do you remember on Virgin?
I can't remember, but it was the one on sort of about 11 o'clock.
I
wouldn't want to be him. Yeah, he's embarrassed himself, hasn't he? Well, we do quizzes, we never get anything wrong.
That's true enough.
During that track, I'm chilling out, I'm loving it, aren't I? Carl goes, do you know how baguettes came about?
Do you know how baguettes come about?
I went, go on, and Steve went, no, save it.
Wait a minute though, I'm thinking, Rick, people are going to be desperate to know the answer to that. Why don't we play some ads and some music and stuff?
It's like a cliffhanger.
Exactly. How did baguettes come about?
Whatever he says is going to be good, isn't it?
Stay tuned to XFM to find out.
Hives. Hate to say I told you so. So I love that sort of stuff. That and the Strokes. Well, so much better than this new metal rubbish, isn't it?
Definitely.
Now, most people think we talk rubbish on air.
Yep.
If they could hear the conversations
Off
that
air.
go on, I know, but someone just emailed in saying the sun is indeed about 400 times bigger than the moon. Thanks for that. That DJ must have looked it up and said 400 times. That can't be right. It's probably it's probably a printing error. 4 times.
Yeah.
Nothing can be 400 times bigger than the moon. Carl went, yeah, but the sun, it's only got 1 million years, isn't it? I went, what? He went, on that space program, it said that in 1 million years, the sun will be destroyed, and he said, and then we're all shafted. Right? I went, I laughed, Steve went, no, it's okay, by then, we'll be on another planet.
No, I think that's true, we'll have colonised other planets.
Carl went, yeah, but there'll be no sun. Steve went, well, there's other suns, which is true. Carl went, well, I went, well, yeah, every star is a sun. Carl went, well, not really. Not really. Don't believe that, do you? And I went, no, it is. The sun is just a star. It's not even a particularly big star. Carl went, well, why didn't they say that instead of worrying me? Instead of worrying me.
In 1 million years' time.
Yeah.
I love that Carl, he's been preserved, brought back to life, and is now the ruler of the world.
Just a head in a fish tank. And he speaks like this. I am Pilkington.
The reason you became king of the universe, of course, is because of your fascinating French bread anecdote.
Oh yeah, yeah. Come on
the
then.
story?
What? How did baguettes come about? If this is going to be someone cooked a loaf a bit wrong and said I can still make a sandwich out of it, I'm going to hit you.
No.
Go on then.
Right. Napoleon, when he was at war and that with Russia.
1812, yeah.
Yeah, all his soldiers were like, you know, not used to the cold weather and that. So they said, take some clothes in your bag with you, because it's gonna be
Chilly.
nippy out there. So, they put all the clothes in the bag.
Sure.
Did what they were told.
Oh,
It's Napoleon, for Christ's sake.
No room for any food.
No,
You're joking.
So,
Couldn't they make some sort of, like, sandwich?
no, it wouldn't fit because of all the clothes. You had to take extra gear.
Sure.
So, anyway, he said,
I can see where
know.
this is going. I'll be honest.
Is there a baguette-shaped gap left in their holdall?
They thought, let's make some bread that you can fit down your trouser leg.
What?
That's not true! No, it's not,
I
Carl!
read it in Euston train station. I was waiting to go back to Manchester.
Where did you read
What,
these?
scrawled on the wall in graffiti?
Yeah.
Do you know the
Was it also meet me here for cock fun at 12 o'clock?
The upper crust sandwich shop, Euston station. It's on the wall.
What do you mean it's on the wall?
Do you know how it says, like, sale on at Dixon's, whatever?
Yeah.
Next to that, there was, like, a bit of information. Once you've read the stuff on Dixon's,
Baguette information.
there was a big thing about the history of the baguette. I read it and I thought,
No, we gotta make a sandwich we can spit down our trouser leg.
But how can you march and fight with a huge piece of bread down your train?
Although it would be intimidating, you see them coming, you go, for blur, look at the size of them. They're big fellas. Well,
Blimey. I can't help but feel that could be a practical joke at your expense.
yeah.
didn't do that.
Well, the Earl of
Do you ever
Sandwich...
question anything you read? If it's printed up, is that,
Yeah.
like, fact for you then?
Well, it's not funny. I mean, if they were trying to be funny, it's like, it's not, is it? So it's information.
Have you heard us? Things sometimes want to be funny when they're not.
That's exactly what happened with the sandwich. The Earl of Sandwich wanted something he could fit down his pants. And it was those triangle cut sandwiches wrapped in cling film were perfect. You might be right. You might be right.
I am.
Because the Cornish pasty is so they could drop it down the mines, isn't it?
Is it?
They wrapped it up in atheists. We don't believe in ghosts, anything like that, anything supernatural. We're followers of James Randi, a genius of our times. But Karl saw something that proved us wrong. I'd like Karl to tell you what this proof was, what he saw on, and look at him. Go on then.
It was on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I was watching. You see, the problem is I didn't get the full story, so you could pick holes out of it.
Sure.
But I was
Unlike your usual investigations into the supernatural.
Which are
It was called, can I just say what the programme was called?
Mr. Exorcist.
Oh, brilliant.
So
Sounds like an academic work to me.
the bit that I caught, I just flicked it over, sort of seeing what's on the telly, and I thought, oh, Exorcist, I've seen it, but there's nothing else, and I watch it, and then I realised it wasn't the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have a bit of this. And there was an old woman and a daughter, and as far as I was aware, the bit I picked up on, they were saying, oh, you know, it's dreadful, and unless you've been through it, you know, you've had ghosts in your house and that, you really don't know what it's like.
Yeah, sure.
And the main thing that seemed to be getting them down was the fact that the budgie was getting stressed.
The budgie was getting stressed.
Because animals can sense the other side,
Oh,
can't
okay. Can they?
they? Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And how was that manifesting itself? You don't know. What was the budgie doing?
I think it just wasn't happy.
Right. Did it explain that to people, or
No,
how
you
did
know,
it express that?
budgies are known for being chirpy, aren't they?
I said it
And
wasn't chirping.
You know, it normally swings on its little perch and that. And
Just depressed because it was
Right.
possessed.
It was just sat around in its pajamas.
so
No, come on,
So-
Steve.
sorry.
Come on, Steve. You're making this a mockery. So the budgie was depressed because he could sense the ghost.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then this
Yeah.
guy, this Mr. Exorcist, came round.
Was that his name?
Yeah,
Okay.
Was he a priest or something?
yeah, he might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I picked up.
Did he have like a black coat with a little white collar? That's usually the.
He had his coat on, so you couldn't tell.
I'm sure. Okay.
But so he came round and he sort of did his thing,
Yeah.
and then
And was
the
he trying?
next shot.
Was he trying to exorcise the budgie?
No, the
ghost.
house.
Right.
The
so
house,
it
yeah.
wasn't that the budgie had a demon or
Clearing the
anything.
house
No.
out.
Okay.
No, this
So-
wasn't a possession, was it? This was a straightforward. It wasn't a poltergeist or anything. It was just a.
Well,
this-
a haunted house.
Yeah, but
Sure.
that's the thing he was saying. He was saying you can have like your ghouls and that aren't that bad, that aren't going to cause you any
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah, yeah,
But obviously the budgie, they've got weak hearts and that, haven't they? And
Sure.
I
So
don't
so he go on. So how?
so anyway, basically he sorted it out, did whatever he did, and the next shot you see is like the budgie making a noise and swinging
It's
about.
happy
It's
again.
over the moon again, and the old woman was like happy because she was.
She couldn't believe her luck.
stressed.
Yeah.
And that
The priest didn't come in and go, well, you should feed that bird. Give it a bit of millet. It was happy. He goes, right.
no,
See you
it's-
later. No. It was a... So it was-
I mean, budgies are... my mum's got a budgie, and they're fairly happy all the time, aren't they? So it's got to be something fairly odd.
You never see a budgie sitting down going, I feel like topping myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, though?
No.
Do you know you can have, like, a moody dog? You can see a dog when it's unhappy if it's walking down the street.
You can have a moody canary, can't you? And what they do is they often tell the police what you've been doing. They're known for that.
Mm.
Yeah.
So basically...
So that, for you, is proof that the supernatural exists. A bird in a cage got a little bit annoyed, wasn't chirping as much as it normally did. Who knows why? There could have been a little draft up its... and
Cloaca.
Exactly.
That's
Anyway,
a medical term.
Anyway, a man came in and did whatever he did.
Yeah.
Use your phrase.
Mr. Exorcist, though, Steve.
Yeah.
This wasn't any bloke off the street. This was Mr. Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And for you, that's the proof that there's.
Just because, like, if it was a person, you go, oh, they're playing up for the camera.
yeah,
You know,
a budgie could possibly act like that, Steve.
Yeah, I see what you mean. You're saying a budgie would not be it wouldn't be trying to become famous. Or
No,
just want to go
not
on the
like
telly.
not like Lassie.
No, sure.
It was
sure.
basically a show off.
Yeah, or
So-
Champion the Wonder Horse.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think
I've changed my tune, Rick. I don't know about you.
I have, and I think we should play a record.
I'd love to get Mr. Exorcist in. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Never dabble with things you don't understand,
Sorry.
like women. See what I did there?
Oh, he's turned that back on me. I've never had this sort of
Steve was thinking, he's not that ugly.
Blimey, here we go. We were laughing at Carl. Can we focus on one person at a time, Rick, please? Let's destroy him first.
Oh, God. Tell them what you said to me when that record was playing about the Jaffa Cakes. He bought some Jaffa Cakes, which was lovely. He went across the road and he handed out the Jaffa Cakes. And then I went, oh, thanks very much. And then what did you say?
I just remember learning at school. I'm not, like, making fun of the illness, because it's not funny. But, they cure cancer.
Jaffa Cakes cure cancer.
Not like fully.
Right. They just go some way to helping.
Yeah. Do you know, it'll sort of help. If you've got it, you can't say, right, get me a load of Jaffa Cakes.
Right.
But I think it sort of puts a bit of a stop to it if you haven't got it. Do you know what I mean? It's like having vitamin tablets.
Is this medically proven? Should we get Dr. Fox down here to confirm that?
I can't. I actually can't cope. You're just play a record. Play a record.
Can I just, if anyone has ever survived cancer thanks to Jaffa Cakes, please call in.
No, but I didn't say
He
that.
said, and then he went, it's the orange thing in it. And then he tried to read it. He said, I wonder if it's, and he tried to read out this scientific name. Faramunch, got ya. XFM 104.9. Well, as we promised, some Feng Shui. What do you want to know? Ratio of witness. It's one of those little books that you see at the sort of like the front desk of like Waterstones or Dillon's or one of those. And it's just, it's a little guide. It's, should I say what it is? I'm allowed, aren't I? Lillian Two's little book of, Feng Shui. And, obviously you can't go into it in depth, but it's some little, you know.
Just some little sort of nuggets, I suppose.
Yeah, ratio of windows. The ratio of windows to doors in your rooms should not exceed 3 to 1. Too many windows cause all your luck to seep away. Obviously. Hello. It is also better not to have windows on the wall opposite the door.
Is that the case in your place, Carl? Because you may need to brick that up when you get back later.
I always remember, I used to work nights.
Yeah.
Right? And it was when my brother just sort of got kicked out of the army.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad went away on holiday, so he was staying with us.
He's got to write a book, this bloke. You have got to write a book, Carl. Go
I
on.
came back,
Yeah.
and there was women everywhere. There's women in every bed in the house. I thought, where am I going to sleep?
Had he set up a brothel? What?
So, no, it's just a bit of a one.
That's
So-
impressive, though. A girl in every single bed. I mean,
He was mad. So, I slept on the sofa downstairs, and I didn't sleep that well.
yeah,
But I slept on it before when it was facing a different way,
sure.
and I had a good sleep.
So for you, that's
So-
proved the worth of Feng Shui.
Yeah, I think there's something in it.
Did you honestly think there's something in it, though?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Okay, well, just read a few of the others, Rick.
Okay, well, it's not. I think most people know this one. Display the three-legged frog for luck. Look for a three-legged frog. You can buy one from any Chinese supermarket, and place it in the vicinity of your front door. facing inwards as if it has just come into the house. Don't place the frog facing the door. Please.
Oh, come on, people.
What?
Think before you place your frog.
I mean, this really is. I mean, but.
What's the last page? Because that will be the most important one.
Do you reckon?
the last one I
The wealth vase. Make a wealth vase and keep it hidden in your cupboard. It can be made of gold, crystal or glass. Can I just say something? If you've got a vase made of gold, you're probably alright for money anyway.
Yeah, sure. But this is the wealth vase. How to make the wealth vase?
Fill it with semi-precious stones and with soil taken from a rich man's garden.
So just find the soil of a rich man. Take some soil from
This is like bury a piece of steak and the wart will go.
Yeah.
I have tooth of frog. This is...
It's the one where with the gods. Can you find that one?
Oh, where's that one? Yeah.
What do you make of Feng Shui, Carl? Is it something you believe in?
Well, like I said, I didn't sleep well on the sofa when it was.
So for you, that's proof positive.
Yeah, you've got to get it right, haven't you?
I'd like Carl to read this out.
Okay.
Yeah, do you mind? Read it out. Just read it out loud.
Which one?
Yeah, the gods here. Right. Okay.
Just read that. That's a good
Invite
bit.
the gods
Yeah.
of wealth into your home.
Yeah.
The Chinese have several gods of wealth,
Yeah.
which they display in their homes to attract what? Prosperity.
Prosperity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My personal favourite is TCSG Yi,
Yeah.
who sits on a tiger.
He sits on a tiger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
It's pretty difficult to find this fella.
Yeah.
If you could use Kang Kung or the 3-star gods, oh no.
Read them out.
Read out the names of the star gods.
FUK.
Read it out. Just read
he's
out.
a god.
It's a
He's a
Chinese
god.
god. You're
He's a
allowed to
Chinese
say
god.
Chinese god on the radio.
No.
You are allowed to say
If you're allowed to
Chinese.
say it, you say it then.
Well, look. You're so immature.
Read the three of them out, really.
Okay. If he is difficult to find, you should use Quan Kung or the 3-star gods, Fuck, Luck and Sao, all of whom bring wealth and prosperity.
Then what were the names of the gods again? Because if I'm making a note at home, really,
Well, it's a Chinese god.
yeah, there's Quan Kun, or you can use Luk Sao.
You can't.
What? But it's a god. F-U-K. That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I assume. I don't know if we're pronouncing it wrong. I really apologise.
Apologies if we're offending anyone who's of an Oriental persuasion. But that's Quan Kun or Luk Sao. And any of those gods are available at a Chinese supermarket.
Near you.
Yeah. That's Feng Shui. It's an ancient art. You can't give me that look.
I mean, when you've been saying I've got a round head, I was a bit like, yeah, everyone has. Stop having a go.
Yeah.
And then I saw this picture last week. I thought, God, he's right.
Can't we just pop it on the XOM website?
I'd rather not.
I'll go on to get
Steve,
someone.
have you seen that man in a jar without a brain?
Sorry, is that a product you can buy? In like Sainsbury's?
Is it a dream you had yesterday?
Not in
You
a
wondered
jar.
if you could. Yes, hello. Could you make my dream into reality, please? Oh, we can't actually, sir. In plastic would be good.
Sorry, what do you mean?
In the future, you'll be able to download your dreams and then just like act them out again, probably in the year 2000 or something.
Soothsayer.
No, there's some museum somewhere
Yeah.
that's got this little fella who was born without a brain, and he's in a jar, and it's just that he's got a really round head.
Right.
And when I saw this picture, I thought, God, it just reminded me of this little fella in
Yeah.
a jar.
Oh, and what do you mean he's born without a brain?
He was born without a brain.
So it's a baby?
It's not a little fella.
Yeah, but it's weird.
Do you know the difference? Do you have conversations with like people in prams thinking that fella's little and he doesn't talk much?
Yeah.
You know babies aren't like little people.
Well, maybe...
Well, they are little people, but I mean they're not very small adults. They're not like midgets.
They don't do a job of work, is what we're saying.
yeah. You're very there. What do you
I
mean?
didn't read about it, I just saw the picture. And
This
it
is where
looked
you're
like a
going
man.
wrong, Carl. This is always your mistake. You see the picture, you don't read the little caption.
But what do you mean? How do you think-
guess at what you think the meaning
But how
is.
did you know he didn't have a brain?
He said something like the brainless man.
Yeah, but then people say that about you. It doesn't mean you haven't got a spinal cord.
I bet somebody's seen it and knows what I mean. It's a famous picture. It's
Right, call in 08700 800 1234. Once again, you win a prize if you can tell us what Carl is talking about. Just in general. It's an ongoing competition. We're trying to find some CDs to anyone who knows what Carl is talking about. Stereophonics, Vegas, 2 times. Well, we've had calls confirming that there was indeed, a fetus, or
or a stillborn child.
A pickled baby.
A pickled baby. No wonder it died. Born without a brain. But everyone has, you know, pointed out that it wasn't a little fella.
It certainly wasn't a little fella.
No.
But because it had been in the jar for a long time, I think it had aged a bit.
What are you basing that on?
You do carry on growing, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, your ears and your nose.
Your ears and your nose. And your eyes don't grow, so,
Yeah.
you could probably, yeah.
I'll dig it out for you.
Yeah.
Imagine if, like, there was an experiment where they were raising a child just based on the information that we said on the radio. What kind of a person
It was like
would they
download,
be?
yeah. And
What kind of information would they
and
have?
it took everything literally.
Exactly.
Who needs enemies? Good question, lads. Nobody. 6FM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Oh, they should print a little book of those. They're great. Oh, how you can relate any song or artist to anything else.
Easy.
Joyful.
Easy. Well, yeah, so, me and Karl went out, for a beer, and it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, enjoy
We started off,
good.
and you met my mate, Robbie, didn't you?
Yeah.
And, some of the stories. Do you want to tell Steve some things about Robin that you
Robin.
learned?
Do you know him well?
Yes.
Well, do you know about his worm problem as a kid?
Go on.
Right. He, what I can remember is he had worms as a kid. Not sure how you get him, he never answered me, he was getting a bit touchy about it.
Right.
This is like the second time I met him. I think he was a bit annoyed that Ricky told me about his problem.
What,
Yes.
now straight away, you not being there, instinctively, what do you think went on with this story about worms?
My suspicion
Yeah.
is rather like when you told a group of people that Robin had once milk from a cow's udder.
Yeah.
He told me that.
Yeah? Did he mention that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. My suspicion is that, like the cow story, the worm story is not true.
But
And
why,
Robin-
why would he get so sort of uppity about it?
Well,
Because it's not true.
imagine if that wasn't the first time he'd done it. Imagine if he did that every single time he was with somebody for the first time and Robin was, just met them. He will tell that story to anyone.
But they do say there's no smoke without fire.
Oh, Robin! I also told him...
That's a fable.
I also told him that the way Robin cured these worms
Yep.
was because the doctor told his mother, right, to hold a piece of ham or cheese near Robin's anus so the worms would come out for the food, and he believed it.
I'll tell you why, though.
I said to Robin used to sit on spam to try and get the worms out, and he believed it.
But Steve, right, do you remember that story about 3 or 4 years ago where there was some bloke in the army, he went away to somewhere, Vietnam or whatever, he was messing about in the woods,
Messing about in the woods.
Shouldn't he have been fighting?
whatever,
Yeah.
right, and he walked through some lake, and I think he'd cut his toe or something on something, and some worm of some sort crawled in the gash,
Yeah.
and it was in his body, and the doctor said, we've got to get this out of your body. So what they did was, they said, right, the thinnest part or something of your body that things can crawl through is on the top of your head. So they wrapped
Where
some
the skull is.
so they wrapped some bacon.
No, they didn't!
They did.
Ah!
That's
Oh,
that
right.
thing.
So
Everyone.
he's gone in by the toe. So what we do is, I'll tell you what, that worm's probably heading straight for the head. We'll put a bit of bacon on it. The thinnest part of the body is the skull. Of course it's not the thinnest part of the body. It's where your brain case is, isn't it? It's the skull.
There was a reason for it, and it was like they stuck some bacon on his head. And
As ever, the vital piece of information, i.e. the reason, Carl seems to have forgotten.
because the worm was in his body, and they said everyone likes to smell a bacon.
Oh,
including
even a
worms.
worm.
Again.
Even a Vietnamese lake worm. They
Oh, they love
Remember
bacon.
last week when I said about the little fella with the bone with no brain, and you were proved wrong?
No,
Please.
no. We were saying it wasn't a little fella. We were saying it was a stillborn child. It wasn't a little
You're
fella.
changing it now. You weren't having any of it last
Right,
week.
hang on a minute. I'm getting confused. There was a Vietnamese snake that went inside of a soldier.
where?
A little, like, maggot or some sort that you have to get out of your body because it causes problems.
Yes, and so in order to get it out of the
It runs
body,
amok.
they strapped bacon to his head.
Yeah.
That is great. This doctor.
And did that work?
I think so. They had a picture of him smiling.
Oh, God, what, the worm or the bloke?
The bloke.
Oh, dear.
Honestly, I hope someone knows the story.
Right.
It was about 3 years ago, I reckon.
Okay.
And, yeah, it did work.
G.I. Bacon.
So this is why when
So what the worm burrowed out of his head to get the bacon?
get to the bacon.
Right. That's great.
So this is why when Robin was telling his story, I was a little bit disappointed if it wasn't true.
Right.
Because in a way,
You know Robin's never been to Vietnam.
No, but what do you really think that Robin, well, as Robin said at the time, Carl, why would I sit on ham, then tell Ricky Gervais? It's a very good point.
because if he was a kid, you do daft things like that as a kid.
Right.
See,
know
it's
what I
the
mean?
telling Ricky Gervais, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you might call up.
Yeah.
But no, I keep myself to myself.
Yeah.
Then you don't get bogged down in the office politics and stuff.
Yeah. Is there a lot of office politics here?
I don't know. I don't get involved in it.
Oh yeah. Proved your point.
So when, we're away and we're, like, out of action, who, other than Suzanne, who will you talk to of the day?
How will you get a sort of feedback from the world? How will you get sort of like input and?
I always, if ever I've got like a question on anything, the internet's sat there and I can just go online and find out.
The internet is good,
It's brilliant.
but it's not all verified.
What do you mean?
It's not all verified.
It's not all necessarily factually accurate.
Anyone can put things onto the internet. It's it's freaks and things that put on
Well, here's
things
one, right?
like
Here's one that I read in the week, right?
Go on.
About this woman.
Yeah.
She was a bit of a punk. And, to get her hair done like she wanted it.
Super glue.
Right, no. She got lard. Apparently it's a popular thing, you might know. Put lard on your head.
Yeah.
And you put it in the oven. Now, apparently the heat that you get from the oven is different from the sort of heat you get from an hairdryer. Right? And she had to do that to get the style that she wanted. But anyway, she comes into money or whatever, treats herself to a microwave. Right?
It's not true.
Opens the
Carl.
door, jams the things, like the little catch. So the microwave works. She jams it with a screwdriver or a knife or something.
Yeah.
Puts the microwave on, sticks her head in, boils her brain.
Don't be ridiculous.
Right? Well, why is that ridiculous?
Boils her brain.
She boiled her brain.
She boiled her brain.
And this is what's good about the internet. I went straight from that, and there was a subject about brains. And do you know that Russell Crowe, when he dies, is giving his brain to charity or something? Some sort of some people who can do stuff with it.
She gave hers to Pot Noodle.
Vesta.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
boiling
sort of
a
stuff.
skull.
Yeah.
That's not true. No.
It's not true, Carl.
It's the same as the woman who put her poodle in the microwave, isn't it? And all that.
Just urban myths.
They're urban myths.
But again, where does it start?
Someone made it up.
Yeah.
For a laugh.
They're just too convenient urban myths. You can tell an urban myth's not true because it's always, this happened to a mate of mine, and when you say what happened then, they go, don't know, that was it. Was it? Was that it? Was it? Someone boiled a brain and that was it. There was no more story.
Well,
Were
Were there any dates? Locations? Times?
I think it was in Belgium.
There's that one, a bloke, right, was gonna get a phone call at 4 o'clock to find out if his business was, okay, right? And if he didn't get the phone call, he knew he was, broke, destitute. So, dead on 4 o'clock, the phone didn't ring, so he went up to the roof, his office, and he jumped off to commit suicide. And as he was passing his window, the phone was ringing.
Oh, no.
Carl, it didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Think it through.
Think it through. Who told that story? Who told that story? As he hit the pavement at 120 miles an hour.
He's the only person who could have known that series of incidents.
Also, why didn't
And
he
he's
wait?
dead.
As his life's at stake, why didn't he wait till 5 past? I'm gonna give it 5 minutes, just in case.
In case the lines are busy.
Yeah. And what sort of bloke goes out, I'll call you at 4, okay, if your business, well, call me anyway. No. If I don't call exactly 4, then, no, you commit suicide. Commit suicide. I would, because if I don't call at 4, that's the end of it.
Well, call me anyway. No, that's not the way I work. Why can't you just call me and tell me the other way? Well, I'm telling you how I do it. If you're bust, I don't call. Can't you just call to verify in case something goes wrong? What if it's engaged? It won't be engaged. Just commit suicide at 4, please. It didn't happen, Carl. The other one, right? A bloke, right? He's on a train station, and I'll tell you how I heard it. He's waiting for a crew station, waiting for, and he himself. As you do. And so he goes, oh, my train's in 5 minutes, so he runs across to Millets and goes, quick, Levi's, 36. The bloke just puts it in a bag, he runs onto the train, he goes into the toilet, takes his, trousers and pants off.
He's soiled.
Yes. Throws them out of the window, I won't be needing those again. Cleans himself off, open the bags, it's a jacket!
Oh.
No, it didn't happen, Carl! At what point did he go into it and go, quick, Levi's 36, and the bloke went, sorry, Levi's 36, what, a pair? No, shall I wrap them? Them? It, shall I wrap? Just wrap, whatever it is. Do you want to look? No, I'm not looking when you're putting it in the bag, please. Right? Well, 36 way stories, don't say anything.
I've told you 36 Levi's. They put it in a bag and charged me for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to discuss it further.
Yeah.
There was one,
Here we go.
there was one about a woman whose husband died, and she had him cremated.
Yeah.
And made like a little egg timer out of him.
Mm.
And she said, I did that so it can still help around the kitchen.
Well, that might be true. That might be a joke.
That's quite sweet.
That might be true.
That is a true story, again. It was all...
No, not again, because the ones I just told weren't. Nor is the boiling the brains in a bag, curry, microwave.
Head story, true.
Yeah. They're too convenient.
Will you be buried or cremated?
What?
Will you be buried or cremated?
I don't know. Cremated. I imagine.
Like you say.
I don't know, it's out of my hands.
Yeah, I haven't thought about
I've
it.
not thought it through, and
No,
I don't
honest.
care either way.
Have you heard the one about... Sorry.
I'm just worried that we're getting into a macabre world now of ashes, boiled heads, so I think we should play some music, let people just calm down.
Levi's.
Just think about some of the urban myths they've maybe heard, assess them, maybe they are absolute bollocks.
Yeah.
And, they can move on from it.
Well, it's just that, the death thing, right?
Yeah.
There was an argument on there about, do you know that Twilight Zone or whatever it was, Tales of the Unexpected?
Oh, yeah.
Where the woman got buried alive.
Yeah.
They were saying how, like, years ago, they bury people thinking they're dead.
Yeah.
And they've recently, like, dug coffins up, and then the people who were in the coffin weren't dead, they might have just been, like, in some sort of deep sleep or whatever. And they've lifted the lid off, and there's scratch marks on the thing.
Yeah.
And that's pretty scary. And
Makes you think, I mean, I hope they check these days. That's all. I'd like to play a beautiful song now by Cat Stevens. On the how did you enjoy Edinburgh, by the way, anyway? Because I saw you up there briefly with you and Nick Frost, your new mates, Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. You know, he prefers them to us now.
I know, apparently, I could tell that from just talking to him really.
It was just, the way he was sort of looking at them, everything, he was just smiling at Nick Frost. It's his new best chum. You love Nick Frost, don't you?
Would you have preferred it, right, if I went to Edinburgh and had to sit with some people that I really didn't like? Would you have been happier for me?
No, do you know, but
so I had a great time with Simon and Nick, and they're nice people.
But he kept going to, oi, Nick, tell Ricky that story. And Nick and Simon, well, all it was, right? And their ghost stories. He loves them because they believe in ghosts.
Oh.
It's not just
they're
that.
great blokes with great sense of humour, just because they believe in ghosts. You go and tell them that, he goes, how do you explain that? I was going, well, I wasn't there. What was that one you told me and it was completely wrong? About the...
It was, oh yeah, right, it's years ago.
Oh yeah.
Some
in olden days.
Oh sure.
When ghosts roamed the earth.
Once upon a time, you mean?
Yeah.
Some doctor or something who was into, like, the way bodies work. They got their head cut off.
Who did? The doctor?
Yeah, he was doing a bit of an experiment.
And he cut his own head off?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was about, he said, when my head's in the basket, I'm gonna blink my eyes.
Right.
Okay, sorry, hang on, let him finish.
And,
So the doctor has chopped his own head off, and he's told everyone, I'm going to blink my eyes to prove that
he's
there's
in the
life after death.
basket, and he goes like, right, I'm going to blink my eyes about, as many times as I can. So quick, count them. And they count, and he got to like 15 before he
Right.
died.
Now, this is how Carl told me that. Till Nick Frost explained that, Carl told he said, right, well, a bloke, right, he had his head cut off, and when his head was in the basket, he went, count how many times I can blink. And I went, well, that's rubbish. He went, no. And Nick went, well, no, he actually said, when my head's in the basket. He went, and Carl went, all right. I said, Carl, do you know the subtle difference? Do you see the subtle difference?
I have to say, though, guys, I still don't really understand what went on there. You've both lost me.
The story is that a bloke who'd been found doing,
You mean that Carl just explained it and that was a clear version? Because I still don't know what you're talking about, Carl.
Well, this bloke had his head cut off for experiments against God. He was a doctor in the, in olden times.
Yeah.
And when they cut his head off...
Why did they cut his head off?
Because it was...
he was executed.
Crimes against... Exactly, he was executed, yeah. And, he said to his assistant, when my head's in the basket, I'm gonna blink, count how many times I blink and write it down as an experiment, right? Carl told it to me, like, his head was cut off and he went in the basket, and when his head was in the basket, he looked up and said, count how many times I blink. Yeah. I love that. I love the difference in that story.
Yeah.
Both rubbish,
Yeah.
but, one's possible and one isn't.
You believe anything that you're told, except when we tell you the truth.
Right,
Yeah.
here's one.
Christ.
Ghosts and that we got talking about.
Sure.
And Nick said, right, he said, you'll like this one. He said, my auntie, was having loads of problems.
Why are you whispering? It's not illegal to talk about ghosts on the radio.
No, but
He's hearing this.
so, the auntie's in the house and that, and, furniture's moving about all the time.
Oh, God.
And they were like, no, this is...
Steve, you told me this one. This is such rubbish, mate.
No, come on, let's listen.
I'm gonna leave it to you. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy it. I'm just gonna watch your face, Steve.
Right.
Sorry, so
they
I missed
said,
the beginning there, Carl. There's an auntie in the house.
basically, Nick's auntie,
Right.
in the house, things moving around all the time, and it was
brother.
just annoying every time she tidied up. It was like,
It's just annoying.
making a mess.
It was one part annoying to two parts scary.
Yeah.
So, stuff was moving around all the time, and they said, right, rather than
we need an housekeeper.
rather than having the house a mess, until we sort this
Stop
out.
it! I've got the vicar coming round. Stop moving stuff around.
Oh, yeah, go on.
They said,
That shouldn't be in the pants drawer.
let's put all the furniture in one room, right? So, just have one room that's a mess, and have all the others empty.
Because I love the poltergeist can't really, it can move wardrobes around, but it can't open the door to put it in another room.
Yeah.
Poltergeist going, oh, I'm just making this room messy. I wish someone would open the door so I could, go on.
Yeah, but, so all this stuff's in this room.
So they
right?
moved all their furniture into
Everything,
one
they
room.
put like the drawers in there and everything, and it was really uncomfortable, because they were all like on top of each
They
other.
sat in the room with all the stuff.
Yeah, they had to, because that's where the three-piece suite was.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Right?
Alright.
Oh, God.
So they sat there, like, all crumpled up and that, but nothing can move because it's so tight.
Yeah.
I think things were trying to move,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
everything
yeah.
was so tight, it's
They
just like...
foxed that poltergeist.
So anyway, one night they sat there, like, sort of a bit awkward watching the telly and that, and, they hear some banging
Yeah.
in the next room. So, she goes, oh, God, what's that?
Oh, he hadn't moved in, had he, the ghost?
So,
To some of the empty rooms.
so there's this
He's
bang,
moved some friends and family in.
there's this banging about going on,
No,
so
listen to this, listen to this,
she
Steve.
gets up, right,
Yeah.
and what it is, they had the baby in the next room because there wasn't much room for the cot.
Right, so they left the baby with the ghost.
So, they go into the room where the baby is, and the banging
Yeah.
is like, do you know those plastic balls you get that you can chuck around the room and, like, they go mental?
Right.
The ones that you chuck once and
Yeah.
you keep bouncing
Yeah,
for
yeah,
ages.
yeah.
That was bouncing around the room.
Why? What, the
Hitting
baby
all-
had thrown it?
hitting all the walls, and the baby was there, stood in the cot, sort of laughing,
Right.
and looking at the ball, and wherever it looked, the ball went.
Yeah.
And then she said, stop doing that.
Yeah.
And the ball just stopped.
Did it?
And it rolled a bit and stopped.
Right. So the baby had thrown the ball and it was watching it as it bounced around the room.
It wasn't throwing it, it was in control of it.
No, the point is, Steve, the baby had been doing it. Would have been the baby all along.
The baby had been messing with the furniture. It was
So
a
it's
baby
a
that
super
had the power. Yeah, it's a baby that had the power.
Special baby.
It's a baby that had the power. It's
What
a baby that had the power.
What's
The power
the power?
of telekinesis.
Right.
They were then trying to convince me that telekinesis was not like all the other stuff that I didn't believe in, but that was a science.
Right.
Telekinesis was possible.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like ghosts and demons and all that sort of. Telekinesis is different.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a science.
But Nick's auntie saw it, and
I love the fact that you're telling me that someone else's auntie saw it. So I should be satisfied with that.
Yeah.
I should be satisfied with that. I mean,
So does she still live in one room with all her possessions?
no, I think
the baby grew out of it, apparently.
it grew
The
up.
baby grew out of it.
So it doesn't use its telekinesis powers
No.
anymore?
Well, no, it's
No.
like in Carrie, innit? She was upset for a bit, and then she got over it.
Okay, I'm just gonna say one thing, Carl. That was a film. Do you want to play a record or? Get free. Alright, on XFM 104.9. Can I just tell you a story that Carl told me a couple of weeks ago?
Is this another ghost story, another
Yeah,
spooky
it is,
story?
yeah. I called him out, I was, what are you doing? He said, I've just been reading ghost stories again. He said, you don't believe in them, but how do you explain this? Right, I went, go on. He said, I'll tell you as he told me it. He went, bloke, right, just sitting at home, doing, you know, watching telly with his cat. And, the phone rings, and it's a bloke going, is that fire, in your oven okay now? 'Cause your wife called. And Carl went, well, 1, there was no fire in the oven. 2, he wasn't married. I went, right. Go on, he went, well. Then, right, there was a knock at the door, and there was 2 sort of people in sort of white coats, and they came and said, oh, we've come about that fire. Your wife called us. He went, 1, there isn't a fire in my oven, and 2, I'm not even married. Alright? And he said, they saw the cat, and they looked at the cat, it looks a bit weird, the cat came out, nothing. He said, and then he went back, sat down, phone rings, and they said, did they sort out the fire in the oven that your wife told us about?
Oh.
He went, 1, there is no fire in my oven, 2, I haven't got a wife. And Carl went, what do you think of that? I went, that's not it. He went, yeah, I went,
That's the end of the story.
What? He went, well, how'd you explain that? I went, explain what? I thought it was gonna say, a year later we got married, but she died in an oven fire. Right? I thought it was gonna be that, and I went,
That's
what?
people winding him up.
Yeah, or, someone did report a fire oven, and their name was Johnson, and they looked up Johnson, they got the wrong thing, it was the gas board, and they sent it round to the wrong person, right? You know, he went, yeah, I said, I explained it to him, he went, yeah, why did they look at the cat funny?
Oh, man alive, Carl. This is really weird, right? I was in my house once, right, and the doorbell rang.
Yeah.
Right, I opened the door, there was no one there.
Yeah.
Right? And then I looked across the street,
There's some
right,
kids
and there were some
running-
kids running away.
Yeah.
Now, how do you explain that?
Yeah.
There was another time, right, where, like, I opened the door and there was a bloke goes, you've ordered pizza. I went, I haven't ordered pizza. And I heard my mate upstairs giggling and putting the phone down.
Yeah.
How do you explain that? Carl, seriously, why did you tell me that story? What do you think it was weird about that?
The fact that it was 3 different people.
Is this all the information? Is that the entire story? Have you?
It was 3 different people.
Did you fall
hassling
asleep
him
and not read
about
the end?
A fire that didn't happen, about a wife that didn't exist, and a cat that didn't look happy.
Oh, I'm gonna have a heart attack, Carl. What? I mean, why did they look at the cat funny?
Because cats don't like spirits, do they?
What? The other blokes were ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So these are kind of beetle about type ghosts. These are ghosts who walk the earth as the undead, just winding people up slightly.
That's lovely. That is lovely.
seriously,
and a cat
Carl-
that did not look happy.
But seriously, why would ghosts wander around just like winding people up?
Oh.
Maybe something did happen there years ago. Some fire, some woman might have died in the house of a fire or something.
Yeah.
And it sort of all happened again. Bit of
Yeah, it's certainly a mystery.
I mean, if you don't-
It is a mystery. I mean, I can't.
What's this book you were reading? You were reading a book, which is interesting enough.
It was the For Tea and Times.
Oh, Carl.
Yeah. Well, I
Man
don't know.
alive.
I don't know what to say.
Well, I'll tell you this, Carl. Here's a track that will spook you right out. This is Warren Zevon from what was it, like about 1979, early 80s?
Oh, great track.
Werewolves of London. Play this, Carl, but don't be scared. From 1978, Carl, Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon. Are you a fan of that?
It's alright, that.
Great track, isn't it?
Fans of Warren Zevon, maybe if you to know he's got a new album out as we speak. Although, if you're a fan, you probably know that already.
Yeah.
If you aren't a
People
fan,
who hate him would
Yeah,
be interested
would
in
be-
knowing
yeah.
that he's got a new album out.
Yeah.
Do you believe in, I think
Werewolves.
lycanthropy? Is it not called?
What's that, sorry?
Lycanthropy.
What's lycanthropy?
Isn't that werewolfism?
Really?
Isn't it? Do you believe in that, Carl?
They've found stuff, haven't they? They've found kids walking about who are all hairy. Because they've sort of grew up with, wolves and that.
Yeah.
So,
No. You see, two things there. Right, you cannot take on acquired characteristics genetically. So, if you grew up with wolves, it wouldn't suddenly make you hairy.
there's been pictures, there's been stories on it, and I reckon most people have, or a lot of people have seen the stories. It's a popular thing.
You mean the kids that are born hairy?
No, there's kids who've been born hairy, right?
Yeah, that's it.
No, but listen, and they walk around on all fours, and they drink milk from a saucer.
Steve, this is
No,
too
remember,
easy.
remember that time with the maggot in the head? Getting out with bacon, and you were like laughing, and then people called up and said, "Yeah, I've seen that. I've read about that."
Yeah,
this
but
is the same thing.
Have you seen an XFM listener up close? Have you ever looked?
They
studied?
drink milk from a saucer.
Yeah, they've got to be kept on leads. People who listen to this show.
There's no point me telling you about stuff.
There is. It's comedy
See,
gold.
when you were at school, did you keep arguing with the teacher saying you're talking rubbish there?
Teachers didn't teach us about werewolf boys and ghosts. They taught us maths. God, right. Tell the story about the manhole cover.
Right, in the same magazine as the one with the cat and the fire and that.
Don't tell me that story again, it gives me the shivers.
Yeah, a cat that's got a weird expression on his face is against God.
Anyway, this isn't a scary story. This was just like
Get
physics.
explained.
Physics.
Yeah, yeah.
It was going on about the nuclear bomb and how powerful it is. And they put a manhole cover on top of one.
Okay.
Blew it up.
Yeah.
Never saw the manhole cover again.
Man alive, Carl. Unexplained.
What's going on there? Something weird is happening there. Oh.
If anyone has ever seen that manhole cover, please get in touch. We'd love to know where it is.
Oh, that's fantastic. What sort of experiment is that? I imagine all these scientists on multi-billion-pound research projects, they're going, we test everything. What would you do to a manhole cover? Don't know.
That's like letting a couple of students
Yeah, exactly,
have
yeah.
control of a nuclear
Do you
sub-
reckon it can
Let's
send a
put this
traffic cone
Yeah.
into orbit? Go on then, put it on there. I love that. I imagine that. What value is that? I might tell you what we could do. We could put the manhole cover on it and aim it and then blow the bomb up and the manhole cover would have someone's eye out. Fire it. See if you can fire manhole covers off the nuclear bomb. I love it. Try bangers to a bomb. See if it's louder. Oh, God.
Okay, listen, Carl, play another track, and then afterwards, can we probe your views on the week's news?
If you want.
We'll do a bit of a white van Carl session.
Carl, I've met Carl a couple of times in our sabbatical, and he said to me once, he said, oysters. So I said, have you ever tried oysters? I don't like them. And I went, he said, oh, it's just a thing about swallowing them whole, you know. He went, well, the reason you have to do that is because they're fatally poisonous. And if you bite into them, they kill you. And I went, well, of course they don't. He went, yeah. I went, well, of course they wouldn't. What if you chewed on it? He said, no. I said, well, so you swallow them whole and they're not poisonous. He went, yeah, see. He said, when you swallow heroin in a Johnny, he says, that doesn't kill you, does it? That was it.
Oh.
And then, about a week later, he went, I was wrong about them. Yeah, I went, well, he said, yeah. And what did you say?
It's if you eat them and then you have some whiskey.
They turn deadly when whiskey comes into contact with them.
Yeah, when they've had a drink.
They get a bit rowdy in your stomach. They start fighting. They can cause
So what are you saying now? Are you saying you don't believe that?
Am I saying what?
Are you saying you don't believe
Look,
that?
he thinks he's got us here. He thinks he's got us here. Yeah, I don't believe that if you eat an oyster, then drink some whiskey, you die.
You might not die straight away, but you won't feel.
Eventually, 50 years' time.
If you've got to keep on drinking whiskey.
Yeah,
a bottle a day.
50 or 60 years later, he was dead. Yeah. Oyster and a bottle of whiskey a day. Oh, then out of nowhere, 40 years later.
Where does this information come from, Carl?
If some doctor called up now, and put you right, would you believe him?
If it wasn't Dr. Fox, yeah.
What about the airy lads growing up with the werewolves and that?
They didn't grow up with werewolves.
Grow up with werewolves.
You're confused about three different
Just a genetic mutation where they were born with very, very hirsute.
There were a couple of kids, yes,
they didn't grow up with wolves, and you can't kill them with a silver bullet. I mean, you're confusing two things.
There were some kids who were very, very hairy, yes.
Yeah.
They're in folklore. There were some kids who grew up with wolves, yes. I don't think the two are connected.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as werewolves, Carl.
You
believe me, I saw a documentary on it on the History Channel. You'd have loved it.
You grew up with a magpie. You know, you don't flap around, do you, and steal people's jewellery.
What was the thing you told me about snails?
Have you ever had any post that looks like it's been opened?
Occasionally, yeah.
Alright, well what it is, it's not your postman having a
sneaky look.
A sneaky look. Problem is...
Right.
Slugs.
The problem's slugs?
Slugs, at night, they like nipping about and that, and it gets a bit cold. And in London, like in the country, they go into the grass, don't they?
Right.
But in London, it's like, oh, what can we do? And, they go in letterboxes.
Slugs go in letterboxes?
Get in letterboxes, it's nice and warm in there, dry and what have you. And,
these are homeless slugs, aren't they? The ones that have lost their shell.
When they're in there, they only found out that they love glue. They've been eating the glue off the stamps.
Right.
And, people have been getting charged for post because it hasn't had stamps on it. It's like, well, they put a stamp on it.
Yeah.
It's like, slugs have been eating it.
Sure.
And they also eat the glue that's on the actual envelope shutter. And it's a real popular problem, this, that, letters are being lost and opened and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Slugs.
Are slugs like stealing postal orders and things and cashing them in and stuff?
Yeah, again, you know, if there's a doctor, if there's a postman.
Yeah.
Well, there's two expert witnesses, a doctor and a postman. So postage is a real problem.
When we see a slug's trail, or a snail's trail...
It's glue.
That's the glue they've stolen, is it? That's a little...
I'm not gonna say yes to that, because I'm not sure.
But we could follow that trail and find them, and they'd have a big sort of...
big pile of letters.
Our stamps and...
Yeah, there they are.
Like birthday cards for our aunts
yeah, but £2 notes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Wow.
Slugs.
Wow.
So, oysters and whiskey kill you, and slugs.
Be very careful if you're going to go out this evening, you're thinking of having a whiskey, maybe some oysters, be very, very careful.
Yeah, and if you are gonna post a letter, please do not use tasty glue. I met Carl in the week against
I told you shouldn't do this, you know, you should
but
wait
then
till
when
the
he starts saying things like, oh, is this lad with a picture? I go, no, save it, and we just sit there, and I'm scared to talk in case he comes up. But, you did tell me a couple of little things, didn't you? True stories that, you know, that I mean, I enjoy. Can you tell, Steve about the doctor?
Right.
Oh, God. Is this something that happened to a friend of yours, or is this,
No, I read about it.
You read about it, okay.
There's this little lad, right?
Okay.
First of all, it's years ago, right? When they didn't have decent doctors in, like, every town and that.
Yeah.
And, this little kid is dead ill, right?
Yeah.
And the local doctor...
Well, there's a phone call involved, so I don't really give the impression that it's like medieval
times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't say that, I just said it's years ago.
Go on,
so this kid's ill, right?
Yeah.
and he's lying in the bed, and he's all going funny colour and that.
Yeah.
And his mum says, I'm going to get the local doctor round. The local doctor comes round, and she says, I don't know what's up with him. He said, leave it with me.
Leave it with me.
He said,
the doctor said that.
I'll have he said, I'll phone up a top doctor.
Okay.
Who was in America or somewhere like that. Yeah. And so he goes to the phone in his office, and he calls America, and because it's years ago, the phone line isn't that good, it's all crackly and that, right?
Yeah.
So he's talking to the doctor, and he's saying, I've got this kid, he's a funny colour, and, you know, he's really weak and that. I don't know what's
he's
up
not
with him.
giving him much to go on.
Right?
Sure.
So, so the American doctor, right?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, what you want to do? And it's all breaking up, right?
Yeah.
He goes, what you gotta do, you gotta, it's all breaking up. You've got to give him some, parrot's blood, right?
Some parrot's blood?
Well, that's what he thought he said, but the line was really bad.
Yeah.
He meant parent's blood, but he heard that he said parrot's blood. He said, right, I'll do that, leave it with me.
I can see where this is going.
He goes to, you know, a pet shop.
Yeah.
He says, give us like half a dozen parrots.
Sure.
Takes them round to the kid's house, takes the blood from the parrots, puts it into the kid's fine.
The kid's fine.
I've never
It worked.
such a load of shite in my life. I've never heard such twaddle, such just made up, enhanced, exaggerated in my
a
life.
load of old rubbish, Carl.
I mean, when he told me this, he said, the doctor said, what do I do? And the doctor on the other end said, give him some blood. And the doctor went, where do I get blood from?
So hang on, wait, I just need to
Where do I get blood from? Give him some parents' blood. Give him some parents' blood. Give him some parents' blood. Yeah.
But hang on, I just need to know where you read this.
Carl.
Where was this? Where did
I
you read
stitched
this?
you up. You know what he said? He said, so do you believe that? I went, tell it to Steve. He went, do you believe it? I went, tell it to Steve. Carl.
But where did you read it?
That was on the internet.
What?
About
Where is
illnesses.
it on the internet? Where,
I'm
what
always
web
looking at
pages?
stuff. I was looking at stuff this morning because of your Regella last night. eating all that funny food and that, and also they all got a bit scared last night, didn't they, with a snake?
I didn't see that. So is this I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of
Yeah,
Here?
yeah. He got all worried about a snake getting on the sort of wandering about in between the sleeping bags and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were all scared, and it is so
Leave
easy.
it with me. Sorry, the doctor says, leave it with me. Yeah. Leave it with me.
Well, they were all scared because there's a snake, and it's so easy to find stuff out. Before they, where are they? Where is this jungle?
Australia, I
Right.
think.
Before they went, give it half an hour on the internet. I found out with snakes, you don't need to worry, right? They're deaf. They haven't got any ears.
Right.
So as long as you're really quiet,
Creep around,
it'll
yeah.
probably leave you alone.
Yep.
And also, they don't have eyelids.
Uh-huh.
So they were suggesting if one's coming towards you, just like kick sand in its eyes. Because it can't blink, and it leaves it a bit like annoyed,
Yeah.
and it wanders off. But they didn't do any research before they went.
Yeah.
And that's
I think your knowledge would hold you in good stead. I don't think you need to know any more than you know. Well, we're going to come back to that because he also explained to me where a saying comes from that I want you to be part of. But
Oh, and also, we should mention as well, Carl, you've come up with a competition, is this right?
brilliant competition.
You dreamt this up?
He thinks this can go to television.
Is this an idea you've come up with?
Yeah.
Carl, I'm so looking forward to
So
it.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Continuing our exposure of myths and legends of Rockfall Tale, we expose that myth that some maybe older rockers have had it and they've got they were never any good. And the
Yeah.
kids today,
Oh, I don't wanna
we
hear
want
that.
people like Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart is a great artist.
This
He's a slightly laughable man, but a great artist.
let's go back to when he was rocking.
When he cut the mustard.
Yeah. Rod Stewart, You Wear It Well.
Great tune.
On XFM 104.9. Yeah, this doctor, I mean, we should find out who he is, really, and if he's still practicing, because it worries me a little bit. That he, you know, He did that. Also, I mean, he thinks he's got away with it, but how could he be sure those parrots wouldn't talk?
True.
Do you know what I mean? There were 6 of them. They probably got together and they probably put it on the internet.
I mean, I feel that story, Carl, it asks more questions than it answers.
Yeah,
really.
Like most of your stories.
Yeah, that's the problem. I always feel like I need a little bit more information. Like, did the parrot boy continue to live?
Yeah.
You know, to a ripe old age, or did he die weeks later after this charlatan doctor who was going around, you know, spewing things?
Did he break his nose trying to crack a big nut?
No, I think he was alright. He lived to a...
See, I'd have shouted, if I was that doctor, I'd have shouted that down the phone. Are you sure you said parrot's blood?
Yeah.
You sure it was parrot's blood?
Listen, I mean, you know, I'm not the best doctor in the world, but did you say parrot's blood?
Yeah, but what you're forgetting is you're going back to the time where, like, they used leeches to do, like...
No, we're not. We're going back to the late 70s if there's a phone call to America Direct.
Come on, Carl. They weren't calling America, like, in the medieval times or in the Victorian age. Come on, think about it, Carl.
Yeah.
You know, this has got to be like the like, you know, 30s or 40s. They're the earliest. You know?
Right.
I'm intrigued to know where this is. I think there's someone on the web who's just putting information on there to lead you astray.
Yeah.
Because you're the only person who finds this stuff. Other people are using this to write theses.
What were you looking up that then? What were you looking...
I always look at weird stuff.
What were you looking for?
But what do you type in the search engine to find parrot blood stories?
What were you looking for?
There was this woman with a weird head.
Why were you looking for that? What were you
Just because I'd heard about it. I'd heard, like, someone talking about it on another station.
Right.
About this woman with a funny head.
Right. I love the fact you're intrigued with these things. You go in the basement of Waterstones or Dillon's or somewhere, and there's these medical books that you'll love them, mate.
Yeah, but this is free on the internet, isn't it? It's all there.
Yeah.
So what you typed in? Weird head woman, or
I think I put
lady with head.
Yeah.
Weird people or something I put in.
Sure.
Yeah. Did you come up?
7,000 hits, Karl Pilkington.
Well, it's all there, isn't it? It's interesting. The one that I was telling you before about, what's the name? The lost letter.
The lost letter? What's
the lost postcard that's, just turned up. Some woman, sent a postcard years and years ago to a niece or something, right? And her niece was like 3 years old back then. And just now, like, I think like yesterday or the day before, the postcard turned up 74 years late.
74 years late?
It took 74
years.
years.
And that 3-year-old girl's been living in the same house that whole time?
Well, yeah.
Sure.
There's not weird about that.
You see what I mean? There's always a question you can ask to just scratch the credibility of these stories. There's always... It's like the apocryphal tale.
Was this the slugs? Was this those slugs from last week?
Yeah, well, they're holding back because they're slow, because the postman slug is useless. His round takes him 74 years. Then he's got to go back to the beginning. He's got 74 years, and they can't carry the bag. That's where they go... That's where they turn to glue. That's where they turn to glue.
Oh. It's pitiful.
It is pitiful.
So you don't believe that someone sent a postcard years ago and somehow it's been stuck in the bottom of a post bag or something, and it's only just
stuck in the bottom of a post bag? Yeah. That means that there's like a 95-year-old postman who's still wandering around.
Did you have to pay, like, the difference on the charges?
Because
presumably
it wouldn't have had Queen Elizabeth's
it was a penny black, presumably, was it?
Yeah. What would be on the stamp? It would have been invalid, surely.
Don't know.
See, these are the questions you should ask yourself.
Because if it's the postman's fault, the post office can't turn
around. Who was only
He's
3
dead.
at the time himself, wasn't he? He was the...
No, he is dead. Yeah, he'll be well and truly dead now.
Yeah.
But the fact is that the post office made an error, right? They lost this letter.
Sure.
It's only just turned up. They can't turn around and say, sorry about this, I hope it isn't urgent. It's turned up 74 years late, and by the way, you owe us 25 pence.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that, would they?
That's true, that's true.
So
that's
there
true.
you go.
You're asking questions, though, see? That's true, you see? So, you're interested in that where sayings come from as well, aren't you? Because you told me one in the week, I don't know if Steve's aware of that. Do you want to tell Steve this one?
What's this a saying?
Can we do this quiz?
We'll do the quiz later. I know you're excited about the quiz. Let's do that later, but what's this saying?
Right. What is the saying? Chucking a baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Have you heard that phrase?
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, how would you use that?
Well, how would I use that? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I suppose if you've been discussing something, you've come up with some plans, but you're slightly worried, and you know, you might abandon the whole plan, whereas there might be some ideas in there which are still worth retaining.
Exactly.
So you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
There might be something you can just change, and you don't. Yeah.
You know, there might be a few ideas you can salvage from an otherwise worthless one.
Well, the saying, right, comes from like years ago again, and
pre or post phone,
and ages and ages ago, when, like, you know, the bloke worked in the house, you know, he was like the coal man, and then you had like
no way, it's important.
Then like the mum is like, you know, she stays at home making the dinner, looking after the kids.
Yep.
And you've got like the little kid who's just growing up, just messing about and stuff. So what happens is, back then they didn't have like fresh flowing warm water every day. So all they could only afford to have like one full big bath of fresh water. So they'd fill up the bath, right? And then the dad would come home and he'd say, "Oh, I've had a tough day at work and that, down the pit." And his wife would say, "It's all right, I'm putting the dinner on. You're gonna have a nice warm bath."
So because he gets the bath first.
Because he gets the bath first, because he's the grafter.
And he's covered in coal.
He's covered in coal, so the water's like minging by the time he's finished.
Yeah.
Right? And then the wife says, "Oh, after all my cleaning the house and doing the cooking, I'm a bit sweaty now."
She's covered in dust and grime. She has the next one.
I'll have a bath, right? Yeah. At the end of the line, there's a little baby.
Yeah.
It's been playing out all day. Also got like little grubby knees and stuff. Needs to have a bath.
Yeah.
It goes in the bath, right? But because the water's so dirty,
sure,
they go and empty the water out of the window. Can't see the baby in it. Chucking the baby out with the bath water. That's where it comes from.
I don't know what to say, Steve. Because I've heard this. I'm just. What do you think, Steve? Steve.
So firstly, that sort of, I mean, that doesn't explain
where do you start? You're struggling, aren't you? You're struggling where to start.
Well, firstly, I can't see how we've now applied this to,
I've been thinking of this for days, Steve, waiting for you to hear this one.
These coal mining parents, deeply negligent.
Yeah, I love
They've left their baby in the bath, unattended.
That's the way round to do it. The one covered in coal.
Yeah.
You go first. Sure. You go first. Don't wash the baby and then get in that.
Yeah.
You one covered in coal goes first. That's the best idea.
Yeah.
Second most dirty one goes second, and then the clean little baby.
Yeah.
I think we should do him last because he's done nothing towards this family.
But more than that, Rick, leave him to his own devices.
Yeah.
Jack, I'm just going to throw the water out.
Yeah.
In the bath.
Don't check first.
Have you checked that the baby's not in there? No, I'm not even going to waste my time checking.
You'd see it.
I'd be able to see a baby.
You'd see a baby in there.
If a baby was in here, I'd be able to see it. I'm just going to throw it out.
Yeah, I'm not even going to look, to be honest, Jack. We've all had our bath.
Yeah.
If the baby's in there, then it should be making
careful,
sound.
Jack. We have lost 3 children this way. Don't worry. Where did you read that? With the acid.
Right, tell the other story that you totally believe this as a true story, don't you? The fella with the being killed.
Right, do you know how the other week we were talking about some fella who had his head cut off, and he said, when my head goes into the basket, I'm gonna blink a lot, see how many times I can blink.
But if you remember, when Karl first told me that, it was, I think it was Simon or, Nick that pointed out, he goes, "No, that's not quite right, Karl." Karl told me that he had his head cut off, and when his head was in the basket, it looked up and said, "Count how many times I blinked." But he believed that as well. So he was happy. He was happy with that.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
So yeah, a couple of weeks ago there was a guy. He had his head cut off, and before he had it off, he'd said, "I'm going to blink to show that there's life after death."
And he did 32 blinks, right?
Sure.
So you two were sort of putting that down the other week.
We were skeptical of that.
So I looked again
on the internet
at some other website.
Yeah.
And there's a guy.
Sorry, it's the website. Just to clarify, the website is the place where you bought that property on the moon, didn't you? Because it was a bargain.
Right. So this guy.
Been gazumped.
Look, we'll see who's been gazumped when this world ends. I've got somewhere to go, alright? And I know you'll be calling me up saying, "Oh, can I come with you?"
Haven't you got,
no,
like,
'cause it
2
doesn't
square
exist, does it?
foot?
No, I've got acres.
You're gonna have to
I've got about-
stand deadly still on the moon in your 2 square foot.
I've got about
There's
20
no place
acres.
for Suzanne, it'll just
Yeah.
be you. I'm off, love.
It's all those people with big heads and web feet that've been buying it all these years.
Well, listen, right.
Go on.
Anyway,
Play a record, tell us a story after it. We've been chatting for far
Sorry,
too long
Carl. No, there's no
here. Play a
record.
tune, we'll come back with
What
this.
do you wanna
What's
play?
this, another ghost story?
Let's play one of my favourite songs of all time, because I'm going on holiday and getting into a lovely serene mood. Sorrento is probably from that. It's Neil Young, After the Gold Rush.
Beautiful. Still to come, that competition as well. Look forward to that. Carl's quiz.
Yeah. What an amazing track that
Beautiful
is.
tune, yeah.
Neil Young,
Dynamite.
After the Gold Rush. So go on, Carl. Sorry. Go on, Carl.
So let's take us back a few steps, Carl. What's the story?
right, so I did some research, right?
Let's just recap again. There was a guy you read about who had his head chopped off. He was guillotined.
Yeah.
He had said to the people around him,
Count
I am going
blinks.
to blink once I've had my head cut off to
So
show
the brain
that life,
can still...
or the brain
Yeah.
can continue to work after,
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
death. Okay, so yeah, we queried that.
So you weren't having any of it?
Well, no, possibly for a few seconds, till the oxygen stops being fed to the cells because the blood has drained away. But, you know, nothing spectacular. So
Right,
go on.
well, along the similar sort of lines, right? This is quite a few years ago. This fella sort of upset the royal family doing something, right? So they said that this isn't good.
Wasn't Ben Outland at that Jubilee thing, was it?
I can't remember what it was, and they said, right,
That was terrible.
we're gonna cut your head off. You know,
Oh.
you gotta show people that you can't be doing what you've been doing.
What was this, the 1970s? When you say a couple of years ago, you mean maybe sort of...
Was it the olden days when the
Ages.
phones weren't very good?
Ages ago.
Yeah.
ages ago, sure.
So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
Very philosophical.
Yeah, imagine that when you watch News
Cut
going
your head
through.
off.
This
Fair
was
enough.
literally ages ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go
Simon
on.
Sharma's History of Britain.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
and even before that, which is yonks
Yeah.
before, when it was all mental and different. Sorry, Carl, go on.
So he's having his head cut off, and he's resigned to it.
it's a day before. He's kind of got it into his head now that I'm not going to have my head much longer.
Sure.
So he said, let's make use of this.
Yeah.
He said, I wonder how long, like, the body can stay alive without my head on it, right? So they were like, oh, I don't know. So,
Hoover.
so
The jailers?
whoever he was asking.
These jailers with one eye.
Yeah.
Get that.
So he said,
No, wait a minute, I've got an interesting scientific experiment, jailer. Well,
Yeah.
fair enough.
What is it?
So, he said, what I want to do, right, he said, you know, surely it's my last right, you know, I'm gonna be dead tomorrow.
Sure.
So, let's
He
do a
didn't draw
test.
it out this long, did he?
Yeah, he said, let's test this out, you know, he said, do us a favour. He said, you know, it's my last day, what I want you to do is, you're gonna cut my head off, let's put a white line on the floor,
Right.
and see if, you know, because there's no point asking how far he can sort of walk without an head if there isn't a line, because you don't know what to count. Do you know what I mean? If he loses his head and he's running around all over the place, you can't really count
That's
that.
not impressive enough, yeah.
So they said, let's make a white line.
Sure.
Yeah. Who said
And-
this? He did or they did?
I think they started to join in with him and saying, well, let's make this a... you know.
You're guessing. Go on.
So,
They got Norris McWhirter down. The Guinness people.
Oh. Yeah.
so they said, let's get this white line.
Yeah.
And,
Dedication's all he needs.
we'll do this tomorrow. And he said, alright then, I'll see you in the morning. So we go-
I'll see you in the morning. Night night, sleep tight. Bye bye.
I love the fact that Carl knows exactly what was said. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, he doesn't know the story
Yeah.
or what order it's in
Yeah,
or when
but
it
he
was.
knows exactly what
or
was
who said
said.
what, but he knows the intricacies. Alright then, see you in the morning. Bye, little kissy, kissy, kissy. Oh, I'm not like that. Oh, you joker.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yeah, anyway.
So he gets up,
Do you want a paper tomorrow? No, I'm alright. Go on.
he gets up, and they say, right, you know, today's the day and that, and he said, well, you know, I've got used to the idea, so here's a white line for you.
Got used to the idea.
Go on.
So they go, right, you ready then? And he said, I go on. And they cut his head off, and the body walked 32 steps without a head.
Wow.
32 steps.
Incredible.
And that's the lesson, really.
Did it get as far as it walked along the white line, did it?
Yeah, it stayed along the white line, did 32 steps, and then started to stumble a bit, and it just fell over.
yeah.
But,
It
you know,
will
it was
do.
a test that your body can still keep alive for a little bit.
Yeah.
when you've lost your head?
Absolute twaddle. Absolute twaddle.
What do you reckon you can do then without an head? How many steps?
Nothing.
There'd be muscular spasm, right?
Yeah. It would twitch a bit.
It would, yeah. You could not distinctly take 32 steps. The body well, don't...
Yeah.
Is the doctor still on the line?
Yeah.
The fellow that bought 6 parrots.
Yeah.
And, you know, you could
Incredible.
have got 32 steps.
Right, so
A
you don't
beheaded
believe
man
that?
doing a bit of line dancing.
Right, you don't believe that, but something that you do believe that a cockroach can live a week without an head.
It can. Slightly different kettle of fish there.
Why?
Wow, insect to, human is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
That
but
difference.
there's not that much difference in
Well, of course
some
there
insects. Do you know that a snake has a heart and lungs and kidneys and stuff?
Go on.
No, well, I'm just saying.
So?
You're making out as if, like, they're a totally different, like, being.
Species. I am making that up. I mean, call me
Rick,
old-fashioned.
Do you know what you're talking about now? I don't want you embarrassing yourself, Rick.
Yeah, I am suggesting they're totally different beings. Yeah, that is. Yeah. Now, Carl, the approach is very. You've got another out of it. Have you got anything at all?
I've got that feature Educating Ricky, which is a bit of a play on words as well. Right. Do you know the film, Steve?
Educating Rita.
Yeah.
I see what you've done. I see what you've done. Go
I'm
on.
doing that, and I teach Ricky stuff.
What do you teach me, Carl?
Well, I've got a few different topics.
Go on.
Do you know, like, how you taught me about Hitler and Che Guevara and Winston Churchill? I'm going to come in with topics every week, and this week I've got,
Ghosts?
No, hanging bacon is one of the topics.
Say that again?
Hanging bacon.
Hanging bacon.
All the titles.
Francis Bacon.
No, all the titles are sort of named to sort of tease you and get you more interested in it.
Hanging bacon. Well, you've certainly intrigued
Go
me.
on, what's another title one?
Hairy Chinese kid.
I'm gonna go for that one.
If there was a university degree with that title.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go for hairy Chinese kid,
And
I
the
think.
final one,
Yeah.
Alien gives man a beard.
Right.
Alien gives man a beard.
I am gonna burst. Right, listen, Carl, you've gotta tell me. Right, first, right, let's do it in
No,
reverse
we're
order.
not going to do it now anyway.
What do you mean? We've got to do it now. I mean, this is the first interesting thing you've said in an hour. Okay, the listeners have just been subjected to rubbish and mistakes and everything for the last 6 months. Please, we've got to do Alien gives man a beard. What is that? Tell us that.
Right.
Sorry, this is just you telling me something, is it? This feature is you telling me something.
Well, teaching you something. Educating Ricky.
So are we playing it now? We're already into this feature. Well into this feature, are we?
Yeah, I suppose we are, yeah.
Should there not be a jingle or something?
Yeah, can we have a
Well, there's
jingle?
no point, because look, I come up with ideas and you dismiss them straight away, so I'm not wasting my time making stuff.
Right.
If you don't like
well, okay, let's play Educating Ricky.
Right.
Brilliant. Go. Right.
Right, so-
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Educating Ricky.
Right, what we going for then? Hanging the bacon, hairy Chinese kid, alien gives man a beard.
I think Alien gives man a beard.
I'd like
We're all
to do
excited
that.
about it.
Right, there's this fellow, I think it happened in America, and he saw a bright light in the sky. And,
God, if you're bored.
and he stood there,
This is a true story, is it?
yeah, he stood there,
Yes, of course it isn't, Steve.
and he saw this bright light, and it came closer and closer, and it was a UFO, right?
Yep.
And he looked at it, and it disappeared, right? And he gets back in his car,
He looks in the mirror.
and he looks in the mirror,
Yep.
he's only got a beard.
He hasn't.
You sure it wasn't someone else who got in the car? And he was still standing out there?
No, right?
What?
And it turned out,
Yeah.
he got home and said to his wife or his girlfriend, it's a bit weird. So I just got out of the car to look at a bright light, and I got back in the car and grew a beard, and she said, never mind your beard, where have you been for 3 days? And what had happened is,
He passed out because he was pissed.
no, the UFO had taken him for 3 days,
Yeah.
but he'd only thought that he'd only looked at it and it went away.
Yeah.
But what had happened is,
yeah.
it took him, and
Yeah.
he grew a beard because he hasn't had a shave.
Right, okay. I mean, was Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones anything to do with this at all? Did you see this on a video maybe and thought it was an educational film?
No, it's from a book that some kind person sent in to me. Here.
Can I just ask again, just again, I'm just throwing this right back at you. Do you think there's any other possible answer here? Right? A man is absent for 3 days from home.
He's grown a
length
beard.
of time that it could take to grow a beard, lest we forget. What if he hadn't actually seen a bright light in the sky?
What if he was lying? What if
drunk?
he was lying?
He'd got knocked unconscious. He'd had a car crash.
Just
any
lying.
number of other
No,
things.
just lying.
Or he was just lying.
Yeah, he'd been on a bender, getting pissed for 3 days
and that
with
was
his
his
mates.
excuse to his wife.
And they went, Dennis, what are you gonna tell your wife?
Well, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
She's not gonna believe I was out with you lads.
Just say you're only away for a minute. No, she didn't know I wasn't away from it because of the beard. Oh yeah, look, it looks like you've been out for 3 days. Well, we have, that's...
Exactly.
Right, okay, we've got to cover that then. Alien abduction.
Great one.
Okay, let's try that.
Do you see? That's a little scenario there that could have been played out.
So, when you say educating Ricky, what have I learnt from this? Never listen to you again. That's all I've learnt so far. Never listen to you.
Yeah, we'll add a little bit more in here, right? To
Well,
spice this
no,
up.
what do you mean add a little bit more?
We'll add a bit more to this what I'm educating you about,
Go on.
right? There's only a law in America that says if you touch a UFO, you're gonna get done. Now, why would they make a rule? I don't know that. Do you know, like, all their rules have a caveat?
Carl, I genuinely do not know what you're talking about.
Right. Do you know, like, how here they might have...
Do you know
I
what?
have no idea.
Right.
Okay.
Do you know, like, over here...
I'm listening to Capital on these headphones. I got Foxy on from yesterday.
Right, let's bin that.
No way, it's great. No,
I want to hear about Airy Chinese Kid.
let's play a tune. and
Okay,
let's come
play a
back with
tune, come back with Airy Chinese
Play
Kid,
a bit-
definitely.
Some doors.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just thought I'd go back, take it back to the 60s. This is a tune that a friend of mine sent
If
me.
you touch a UFO, you get done.
Soul Kitchen from the Doors.
Shambles today, this.
David Bowie, Slow Burn, yeah. Quite a Eno trilogy
Yeah, not
feel
bad
about
at
it.
all, yeah.
Lodger
Is it
and
a
sort
new
of
tune?
low type, yeah. But, yeah.
Enjoyable.
Now, okay. That's stressful, isn't it? I think we've got things working now. We've had people come in and out, just shaking their head going, shouldn't have bought that desk. But it's all sorted now, I think. And,
You notice how
I'm
it took
sorry.
about
What?
25 minutes for them to come down as well, though? Do you feel like we're maybe quite low in the pecking order in the building?
Definitely.
You know, it's like Capital First, Capital Gold. They can shoot off to other sort of pirate stations.
Yeah.
People's car radios, then they come back here.
Oh dear. Oh, I had a job at Richer Sounds.
Yeah.
Light fitting was buzzing.
Yeah.
Now, but we've got. Thanks for staying, listening. Right, okay. Educating Ricky. What have we got? Airy Chinese Kid. Go on.
Right, yeah. This is the, I didn't want to do this.
What do you mean you didn't want to do it?
Well, I wanted to give you three, and I gave you one. It was like the alien man gets a beard or whatever.
Yeah.
And-
Which was total rubbish. So this one should be better, maybe.
Hairy Chinese kid. Right, well, we've talked about hairy people in the past.
True enough.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
You know, the little kids who grew up in woods and hung around with wolves and that.
Yeah. Again, you're confusing it. Yeah, they're not. There were some people that were born. Very hirsute. They were not the people who were brought up with wolves. You just put that together in your Homer Simpson type mind.
Right, well, this is like a sort of close to that sort of story.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, right, Chinese people aren't that hairy as a nation. No, seriously, that's a well-known fact. They don't have that much body hair and stuff.
Okay.
So this little kid who was born over there, he was like covered in stuff,
Was he?
and it was only his nose that wasn't hairy. The rest of his body was caked in hair, right? And his hair sort of
What
grew.
sort of hair was it? Was
thick hair.
No, what I mean is, was it sort of like a pony's mane? So he just looked like an Ewok. You know what I mean? Just like hanging down, sort of straight,
Well,
dark
it
hair.
looked, in the picture, it looked like it grows
was it
from his
downy?
eyebrow. It grows from his eyebrows quite thick, and then it just goes all the way over
You
his
don't
head.
think it was just really long eyebrows that he'd done a comb over?
No, it was all over his body. It had a picture of like his back and that.
Yeah.
And
Had he styled it? Had he styled it at all? Did he have it in a quiff or?
no, it was just
hanging everywhere.
all over him.
Yeah.
and they were like, you know, this is a bit weird, happening in China, where we're not normally that airy.
That was the scientist speaking there.
Yeah.
And the local press and that were getting him down, calling him monkey boy and all this.
Oh,
And,
thinking Chinese press.
but the doctor,
Yeah. Oh.
They're cruel, aren't they? It's like those game shows. That's Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all, yeah.
and the doctor said,
I was talking through all that time while we were just like talking to each other then. Because I turned round and I still saw he was talking. Go on.
So anyway, the local press came down to see the hairy boy, the monkey
yeah,
boy.
and they were like being tight, taking the mickey out of him, and the doctor said,
Showing him nuts.
said he's only airy. Said he's a healthy young kid. The only faults he's got is he's got a little bit of eczema and a boil. And he said everybody should just treat him the same, and I think he grew up a healthy kid. Yeah, so that's the
That's
the end of the story.
That's not a story.
why.
But I've got nothing. I don't know what to say to that. So someone in China was born slightly hairier than the rest, and he was normal apart from eczema and a boil. That to me isn't a story. But if it is, I've got a million. I mean, it's sort of like bloke from Manchester went a bit bolder than the rest, got a job on radio. He was normal. I mean, that's not a story, is it? Some great adverts there on XFM.
I enjoyed them.
104.9.
Absolutely. We have to give away these 3 pairs. We have to give these away, Rick.
Yeah,
We've got 3 pairs of DJ
I know, but
Shadows.
this is so jam-packed. I think we've planned too much for this show.
We have indeed.
Next week, I think we have a little bit flabbier next week.
Rick,
do less.
Rick, can we chill out next week, please?
Yeah. Go on then.
So yeah, any ideas, guys? Any questions? Sort of DJ Shadow related questions? Any Shadow or DJ questions? Carl, any ideas?
What does the word DJ mean?
Yeah, it's too easy. I'll tell you something I do know.
Go on.
Right. But I can't really get a question out of it.
Go on, just tell us.
There's a shadow somewhere.
It's already good, isn't it?
I'm loving it already.
No, right. There's a shadow. I think it was in America.
Yeah.
And it's on a quiet road. I'm guessing somewhere like Boston. That's what I imagine.
Okay.
Right?
No.
Somewhere like Boston, and people at night used to see this shadow moving about, and they'd go, "What's that?" Right? And it got known, the town, the little local town got known for this shadow, but it didn't cause any problems.
What are you talking about?
Well, it was like,
you've lost me.
What are you talking
no,
about?
do you know, like, some places get famous, like, Scotland's got the Loch Ness Monster and that, but it doesn't cause any, but it doesn't cause any problems.
It doesn't exist, go on.
Right, so there's this shadow walking about on the road.
What do you mean? No, what's he, again? Rubbish.
Right, so it's walking
Nonsense.
about.
Where did you read this? Where did you see
It's walking
this?
about, this was on the internet, and I'm sure.
Sorry! Sorry!
Right.
I thought it was shite. I didn't know it was on the internet.
Right, so this shadow is moving about, and,
independently of an object.
yeah, and the local mayor and that is like, yeah, it's a bit weird, but it's not harming anyone.
The mayor involved!
Was he elected to that post?
Hey, mayor, we got a problem down here. Seems like a shadow. Well, it's not causing any. No, it's
Is
just
it causing any problems?
Yeah, go on.
But that's the thing. It was left for years, and then it did start causing problems.
I see, that's it. If you leave these shadows to go unchecked, Rick, they go crazy.
Yeah.
You let them run amok in the city.
Yeah.
You've got to stand
What
down
did it do?
on
What did it
Roman
do?
shadows.
What did the shadow do?
It was pushing people off the bikes.
It was what?
It was pushing people off the bikes. I'll find out more for that next week. Right, that'll tease them.
You're a maniac!
We'll do more on that. We haven't had time for educating.
Please never have children.
Right, listen.
Just promise me now you'll never have kids.
We haven't got time.
Okay, listen, alright, DJ Shadow, have we got time for to give these tickets away?
Yeah, if they just call up, we'll.
No, I'll tell you what, I've got a question, right?
Go on.
Where does Carl think this may have taken place? If you've been listening to the show, where do you think this evil shadow has been running amok? Let us know. The number, Carl?
Good question.
08700 800 1234. So,
Excellent.
but that's it. We are actually out of time.
We are indeed.
now.
Have I got time for a song for the ladies?
It's a bit tight. I was
Why?
told to finish
It's
now.
5:02.
I know, but we've got to get finished early today, so.
Why?
Just because we have, and we're wasting more time talking about why we have to.
Oh, this is pathetic.
So, they call up, where did I see the ghost?
Yeah.
And you've got to pick the tickets up from reception. You can go tonight, see DJ Shadow. That's
Shoddy,
it.
this
Right?
is shoddy.
Right, see you then. Lobe of this.
Yeah, get a lobe of this, yeah.
Well, that's a story about a girl who, she was deaf, right, for 4 years. And, it happened quite a bit back this.
What year? Or was it,
I think it was
specific ages ago, was it?
About, yeah, quite a bit back. She was deaf for about 4 years. Having an argument with her mum, it said, which I didn't quite understand. Because I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
But she was having an argument, and a man pushed her against a wall, and she banged her head, and her hearing came back.
Okay.
Was she wearing a Walkman? And it fell out? And she'd realised, well, oh, that's
There's
why.
no explanation.
There's no explanation. Well, why is that teaching me something then?
Right, so I knew you'd say this, right? So I thought, right, I'll stick something on it. Do you know that bees are deaf?
No! No, you can't just, no! If
No.
you ask someone something they don't know the answer to, they don't tell you something else. Just, I'll tell you something else then. I can't answer that, I'll tell you something else. Imagine that. If you asked a teacher. Look, how do birds fly? Wow, if you're gonna do that, tallest building is, I mean, what?
Well,
That was the equivalent, Carl, of running away when we asked you a question.
Yeah, the intellectual equivalent. Look over there, there's a monster.
Yeah.
Listen, what do you mean? What she, okay, so,
So her
there's
hearing
no
came back.
explanation. There's no explanation. Or you don't know.
well, there isn't one, is there, really? It's a bit
What,
weird.
did,
But the
doctors,
only
did
thing
the doctors not look into it?
No, I think they just said, oh, that's good.
But, so again, I don't. Where did this information? Is that if you read this on
Is
the net?
that
Is that
it?
all they put on
There
the
was
net?
once a deaf woman who hit her head and she
And her
could hear.
hearing came back.
It was bizarre things about being deaf.
Was there
Oh,
three
yeah.
Was there
I've
three?
got that book, yeah, it's a good book, that.
Was there three
Yeah.
more pages you just couldn't be bothered to read on?
Yeah.
No, it was just a little bit, and it
Was there a
said-
little picture, a cartoon picture?
No pictures, I just
Are we
read
going,
it.
ow!
Look,
Ow,
if you
I
don't
can
want to
hear.
know, if you don't want to learn, you know.
Yeah. Okay, it's not his fault. Let me have it's not his fault. You gotta save this. This has gotta teach me something and be an interesting story.
Right, it's not his vault. This fella,
What year? Ages ago?
Olden times?
I'd say in the 70s,
Okay.
Would you? Any evidence for that?
and,
Does he wear flares in the story?
Right,
Is that
this
your
is-
reason?
no, it's a bit like Yuri Geller, this fella, right, where he's electric.
He's electric.
And, if he walks past the telly would fizz.
Uh-huh.
If he walked past the radio, it all goes like that.
Oh.
His hair stuck up all the time. And he'd be having a bath and everything would be alright, and then the power would sort of switch on in his body, and the electric in his body made him jump out of the bath. So...
What do you mean so? What is that so? What does that so mean? You've given us nothing. You've given us nothing.
You'd have to at least give us the scientific explanation.
Yeah.
Electric eels have 400 volts in them.
Oh, is this the running away again?
What was that one called?
Yeah, but but
It's not his vault.
but there's a reason that not his fault. It's not his fault. I thought it was going to be something about keeping it in a safe.
I think we should do these the other way round. I
It's
think you
not
should
his
tell us
fault.
the story and then we'll hear the pun.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Right, let's leave it.
Play a tune.
Forget it.
Educating Ricky.
Doing it. We're not doing it.
No, we are. Oh.
But I'll tell you what though, talking about ghosts and that, do you know how I'm into them?
Yeah.
Right? How weird do you think this is, right?
Well, it's not true. Before you say it, play a record.
No, go on.
Go on.
Right, it's this woman. I don't even know if it's ghost really, it's just a bit weird.
Yeah. Sure.
There's this woman,
Yeah.
and she's not a woman, she's a kid.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
She's walking down like a street in her area, it's a nice day and everything's normal. She's walking down, and a woman comes up, cycling past, right? The woman on the bike looks at the kid, absolutely terrified, right? Got a really scary face on her.
Yeah.
The kid's thinking, why is she doing that?
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, she thinks nothing of it, goes, you know, I think she was playing in the park or whatever, goes and has a nice day. About 15 years later,
Oh, right, yeah.
she's, I don't know, I think she was going to work, right, on a bike,
She was riding her own bike.
riding her own bike, cycling down the road,
Oh, yeah.
looks at the kid. That's the thing that happened, like, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
It's her on the bike looking at her as a kid.
Right.
What do you
Not another child.
No. So
Right.
it's her, she's seen herself.
What, Carl? I mean, I don't know where to start.
Firstly, where does this information come from?
But I mean, why do you ever I mean, I don't know what part of that you think can be true. I mean, honest, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. What are you talking about?
Bit weird though, isn't it?
But it's not true.
It didn't happen. Nothing happened like that.
She said it did.
Well,
Who?
then she's wrong.
Who? She said she saw herself.
She saw herself as a kid, didn't she?
Did she carry on riding
And as an
Puff?
adult when she was a kid.
Did she stop and talk to herself, or did she ride on by and think that's a bit weird? There's me as an 8-year-old. I won't stop. I'll be late for work.
yeah. If I'm late again, the boss said he'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, if,
And where is this information? Did it happen to someone you know?
No,
You overheard it on the bus.
no, it was in the 14 Times.
Ah, right. Well,
Ah, okay.
that's the answer.
Good,
We've
okay.
got to the bottom of that.
Right, good. Brilliant.
Now, what do you make of David Blunkett accusing...
That was the main bit of the story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But this one, right, we have sort of talked about it, and you weren't having any of it at the time.
What?
This next bit of science I'm telling you about.
Go on then.
Right. Remember when I told you about a lad who was living at home with his mum and dad, right? Everything's, normal life, go out to school, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then, I think his mum and dad had an argument, and it kicked off a bit, and he thought, I'm sick of this. It's happening all the time now, they kept having arguments, so the kid ran off into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right?
God.
Now, he left, he went and ran in the woods, and he ended up living with some monkeys.
Right.
Right? And he thought, this isn't a bad life, there's no arguments going on.
Sure.
He was getting on with them. And the weird
He loved
thing
bananas.
is, this is where the science bit comes in.
Oh,
Sure.
He grew a load of hair on his body.
That's not true. It's not true.
It is true.
It's an acquired characteristic.
I bet someone will back me up on this.
But no, you can't. You can't grow hair like that. You might get a little bit more down here. They might the erectile tissue might, they won't fall out as much. That would, but you don't actually grow a big mane if you're cold and you're a human.
Well, he did. This lad did. I know it sounds a bit strange and that, but he was living with the monkeys, and because it was cold, his body reacted to it.
Listen. He was no hairier than he would have been if he was walking around naked on a cold day, with or without living with monkeys.
The fact that he was living with monkeys makes no difference.
No, I know, but I'm trying to get, picture it in your head what it's like.
Although Mickey Dolenz was always pretty hairy.
Right? So, he was living with them, and he went into town or something one day
Oh, yeah.
to get some food, and the people there were like, hang on a minute, that isn't a monkey.
Well, he went in naked.
No, he was there covered in hair.
Yeah, but naked, but covered in hair, so it was decent. It was.
Yeah. But that was a weird thing. They thought it was a monkey in the shop. And then
So
they went,
presumably he had a big long beard as well, because he couldn't shave, could he?
no, he's just covered. He looked like a monkey.
And they were happy to serve the monkey, were they? There's a monkey, he's
How
buying
did
a
he walk?
newspaper and
How
some
did he
milk.
walk? How did he walk, Carl? Did he walk upright or whistling along?
The picture that I saw on the internet, he was on all fours, but I
Course
don't
he
know if
was.
that's when he was
Course he
running
was.
away after they'd sort of, realised he was a kid. But this was a picture.
So he was a kid as well. He wasn't even like an adult with the beard.
No, he was a kid.
Brilliant.
And
The beard
people
kicked in a little bit
So
earlier.
listen, so the
Go on.
people caught him.
You're an idiot.
The people caught him.
Yeah.
Shaved him. Right? Got it all off. Didn't grow back again.
Right.
It
You're an
grew.
idiot.
Well, like I say, people will have heard this story or read about it.
You're
and
an
they'll-
idiot.
And they'll email in. They don't let me down.
And they'll agree that you're an
And
idiot.
no, they'll have seen the story.
You're an idiot.
So that's a little bit of science.
You're an idiot.
The weird thing is, right, looking around in the week at weird stuff on the internet, there was this woman who's got a big head,
Oh, yeah.
and she was fed up with it because when she was walking down the street, it was so big she couldn't hold it up.
Right.
Right.
She couldn't hold it up.
Oh God! Oh God!
Okay, shut up.
So
She couldn't hold it up.
when she was walking, her eyes were hurting because she had to sort of look up all the time because her head was that heavy. Her chin was sort of balanced on her chest.
Right. And she'd have to peek up, yeah.
So she goes to the doctors, and this was after years and years, and said, you know, I thought I could put up with it, but I can't. It's hurting my
How big
eyes.
was her head?
It's
I
big,
think
Rick.
I don't know if it was like big because there wasn't a picture. I don't know if it was just big or a lot of bone, so it was heavy.
Very heavy.
Right, like the Elephant Man, just
So
outcrops.
yeah, right. So so the doctor said, yeah, we can sort that out, but we'll have to take your head off.
Right.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
listen
keep
to
going.
this.
Okay,
Listen.
keep going.
Because what you don't seem to understand is I have the same reaction to you when I see it.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
You're quizzical yourself.
So I looked at it, they took her head off, chipped away a bit of the bone, made her head lighter, put it back on.
Right, play the Smiths. This
They
is ours.
took a woman's head off.
Yeah, this is ours by the Smiths. Yeah.
And if you'd like to ask Carl something, details coming up soon. How's that?
Got a couple of things under the banner of colon then educate me.
Yeah.
We've got this is interesting. Right. Do you know if you have an operation on your brain, right, what they do is I mean, this is why I'd never go to the doctors. I don't like doctors because this sort of stuff freaks me out. Right. They can operate on your brain, and what they do is they put you to sleep first, cut your brain case open.
Your skull, yeah.
The brain case.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then wake you up and operate on you. So you sat there with your head open,
Yeah.
messing with your brain, and you don't feel anything.
Well, there's no nerve endings, is there, in the brain?
But still, it's not right, is it?
Is it what you think they do it for fun?
No,
They
but
go on, Reg, wake him up so he all freaked out.
well, is it necessary that you're awake, do you think, or...
Well, they need the brain active, don't they?
Yeah, but it is when you're asleep, you're having mad dreams. I had a mad dream the other day.
Go on.
No, I might tell you about it later, but there's no sense to it. But, so your brain's still...
So is this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it'll turn out, I'll go, no, Carl, I was there, that wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
No, but... So, I mean, if I had an operation...
On your brain, heaven forbid.
Well, operation anywhere, I'd like to sort of think, well, I'll have an injection, I'll go asleep, but when I wake up, it'll all be sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that
Your brain case is open.
and they wake you up and you think, oh, is it all done? They say, well, have a look in the mirror. And your brain...
See, I don't think they do that. I don't think they try and frighten you when you're doing an operation.
Yeah, I don't think that you go about your business and they sort of follow you around, dabbling.
Yeah.
No, but it's almost like they are having a bit of a laugh with you.
Right, well, I'd just like to say now that they don't. Anyone who's going in for an operation on their head, do not ever listen to anything
But
Carl says.
why have you got to be awake? Because you'll be bored anyway, you'll be sat there. They'll
Well,
be
they
messing
give you a
about.
telephone directory, look, and they say, look how many Macs are in there. That's the Scottish telephone directory. And, you know, time flies when you're counting that sort of thing.
No, but do you know, like, when you...
What are you telling me? What are you
I'm just
asking
saying how
me?
weird it is. It's weird, isn't it? It's like, do you know when you go for a haircut, right? It's a bit embarrassing. Well, I don't anymore, but when you go for a haircut, it used to be a
When
bit...
you go for a haircut.
It used to be a bit embarrassing when, like, they'd wet your hair and they'd make you have that sort of Hitler cut because your hair's wet, and I used to hate it, and I think, do you have to do that? Do you know what I mean? You know
It's
what I mean?
similar,
don't
it's
you?
very similar to open skull
No,
surgery.
but what I'm saying is, it's almost like barbers like to do that to make you look daft and feel daft for a bit, and there's women coming in and out, and you're sat there with a daft haircut.
Yeah.
And this is what that reminds me of.
Do you think they do it in a shop window, this brain operation?
I'm just saying, it's a bit
Do you
weird.
think they go, why are we doing it in John Lewis's? Just so more
I
people
love
can...
the idea that that's what doctors are doing. Let's make this guy look a bit stupid.
Yeah.
Open his brain
Look
case.
at the twatty look with his brain out of his head.
Take a Polaroid. Reg, take
Yeah,
a Polaroid.
Look at him, look
Put it on the net.
at his face, right, clock his face when I give him the mirror. Get this on camera.
Put
Carl-
this fake nose and glasses
Sorry,
on.
is that, did you teach me something then? Was that
I've
educational?
taught you that your brain case can be open with your awake, and you just sat there sort of letting them get on with it.
Brilliant, I've learnt that, I'll never forget that. Right, go on, anything else?
You'll love... Let's play a song, because the next one is amazing.
What, even more amazing than that?
Yeah. Play a song?
Yeah, bit of Bowie?
No email still, by the way.
No, I don't think it's working.
It's not working today,
Lady
so
Stardust.
we'll have to do a phone-in for Rockbusters.
Off the Ziggy Stardust album.
Alright. Old woman, about 70 years old.
Yeah.
She's normally fit and healthy and stuff, nothing wrong with her, she's having a good life. And one day, she goes for a check to the doctors, just to check herself out, 'cause she's getting on a bit.
Yeah.
Says, take your clothes off and that. So she does, and checks her out, says, yeah, you're looking good, you're looking good. Turn round, he said, oh God. He said, you got a tumour on your buttock. Right? So she goes, oh, what, can you do anything to sort it out? So they go, yeah, we'll book you in for an operation, it's best if we remove this. Books her in for an operation, operation day comes, strip her down and that, they're all stood round, the doctors, start to operate. It only turns out it's a pork chop that she sat on 5 years earlier, and it had stuck to her buttock.
Right, Carl.
I can forward you.
I'm not,
honest.
right,
No, listen.
Okay, no,
Serious.
Right, okay, Carl, I'm telling you now, I'm leaving. I'm never doing this show again.
No, I'm serious. Honestly.
You're talking, I've never had such you are, play a record. Play a record.
I couldn't believe it.
What do you mean you can't believe it? Stop the record, stop the record, stop the record. Right, okay, right, what do you mean you couldn't believe it?
No, when I read it, I said, I've got to tell Ricky
This
that.
woman had a pork chop stuck to her arse for 5 years, you mental case. Of course she didn't.
I don't think I did answer it. I just said, you know, the odd
You
thing.
just said I'm asleep.
Little things. Little things like, I ran home the other night and said, oh, I've just learnt something today. She goes, go on. And, you know Lego bricks?
Oh, yeah.
The name came about because some kid's mum, the kid was messing with the bricks, and she said, let go of them and come and have your dinner.
Play a record.
It's got to be rubbish. It's got to be
Play
rubbish.
It's always rubbish, isn't it?
Well, they're Scandinavian for a start, so... Well, there is no... Let go.
Interesting. Thanks for that.
Whereas Lego was
Yes.
invented when a mother had sent someone to get some, though there's no name for them, she went, can you go and get some? There was a gap, he went, oh yeah, I'll go and get some, because they weren't called anything, brought them back, started playing with her. And then she went, look, give me those. He went, no, she went, Lego, you idiot.
Yeah, the actual explanation, various people have emailed us in or phoned in now. The company was set up in 1934. It's a Danish company, obviously.
Yeah.
Lego comes from the Danish words leg got, which means play well, and it was later discovered that it was also a Latin phrase that meant I study or I put together. Yeah.
Didn't they?
I mean, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Why, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you today?
I'm just saying.
What, you're fed up with people, taking issue with some of the stupid things you say? Lego was invented by a mother going, let go of that. What are we going to do with all the buildings? The earth might collapse. What do you expect people to say? Well, even our listeners know you're talking rubbish. And some of those aren't allowed to wear socks. I mean...
Listen, right, last week...
An idea, I can see it in your eyes. He's got a brilliant idea. Wait for it, go on.
No. It's something, when I was looking on the web, found something out.
Go on.
It's a story about a woman who had a baby. What are
you talking about?
What?
A woman who had a baby who was having a baby.
It was no clearer when you repeated it.
No! Carl! I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do for the common good, right? Pursue this line of inquiry, right? Because I don't know where it's going, or play a record. I'm actually torn. I don't know what to do.
No, I remember seeing it and thinking, I've got to tell Ricky about that. It's brilliant.
What should we do? Should we go with it? I mean, it's like, it's entering into the abyss. It's opening Pandora's box. It's peeking, it's going down to the cellar.
I've got a couple of questions, though.
Go on, then.
Well, come down there with me.
Okay,
come down the cellar with me.
Okay, right, Carl. What, first of all, it was on the way. What do you mean? The baby was what? Had another, was it, she didn't give birth, the doctor didn't find her one of those set of Chinese dolls up her? Russian dolls, whatever they're called.
That's what I pictured it like, those dolls where you take the head off and there's another one in there that all look the same, but no, the story was, there's a woman who's...
No, don't just say it again, that's a headline. That's not a story. There was a woman who had a baby, That's not a story. Imagine handing that in as a thesis to loads of the BMA. There you go, and read that.
That's a children's rhyme.
Yeah, there was a woman who had a baby, What do you mean? So she had a baby, right? Yeah.
And,
that bit's fine. We're okay with that.
That's normal. That's normal.
A woman had a child.
Yeah, totally normal.
She gave birth. Fine.
Yeah.
Next.
Well, I don't know that much more. Apart from the fact that the baby's, like, roaming about. And then, 12 months later, she's like, oh...
Interesting. So the gestation period of that baby was actually 3 months more than an adult.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's weird, though, isn't it?
So, was the headline, my baby's 12 months pregnant? What are you talking about? 12 months later it had a... What are you talking about?
Forget it.
No, you haven't even finished the story. That what you said, and 12 months later, you didn't even finish the sentence. So what do you mean?
No, I didn't read any more into it, because I just saw that and I thought, that's weird, and then I just was thinking, oh, like, imagine the kid at school, at parents' evening.
Go on.
And it's like, well, your kid's pretty good, now let's have a look at your work, sort of thing. Don't you think that'd be weird?
But what? Did the child have a baby?
Yeah.
Of course it didn't! Play record!
We shouldn't have gone down in the cellar. We should have just left the cellar door closed. I never learned. Monkeys, Pleasant Valley Sunday, brilliant. XFM 104.9, Karl Pilkington.
This show is monkey heavy, isn't it? It is monkey heavy. Karl, if you were president, would you sort of make compulsory to maybe have a little monkey? Everyone has a little monkey of their own? Little chimps out and out, old age pensioners?
It's not a bad little, It's funny, you know, because there was, a story the other day, when I was looking for monkey news. Right? There's a story about a couple who couldn't have any kids, right? There's something wrong with them, but they really wanted a kid. And they got some, dodgy email address where they could buy a baby online, right? It was someone who would have a kid, and you could buy it for $3,000 or something, right? Yeah. So anyway, they got one, they got picked, and they're like, brilliant, there's the money. Got the baby and everything, they were loving it. You know, playing with it and stuff. As it got older...
Feeding it.
It got airier.
Oh, shut the oh, Karl!
Turned out they'd been sold a chimp.
You maniac. You stupid mank twat. Don't talk shit. That is as if... what?
Didn't know it.
Oh, don't talk. Are you mental? You
I love the fact
stupid.
that didn't make it into monkey news.
I know, yeah.
Well, it's a bit sad though, we don't like to bring the feature down.
Yeah.
But
and how long was this into... It got hairier. They're born hairy! They're not born like humans then develop hair, because they go, hold on, we better get the chimp stuff kicking in now, because we're in the jungle!
School photograph, they were like, hang on a minute. It looks a bit weird.
Oh, you are just the rubbish. Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Imagine, oh, God.
But
Just
anyway,
imagine if he was in charge. We did put him in charge of the country. Go on.
talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it now? Listen, a fella...
Play a
no,
record.
listen. Do you want...
Alright, no, come on, alright, he's got it now.
Go on, go on.
This fella goes to the doctors, right?
Oh, right, okay. Right, if this isn't any way apocryphal, stupid, illogical, impossible, right, you are never, ever speaking again on radio. So make sure this is at least possible. I'll tell you what, I'll even give you improbable, but possible. So if anything that breaks the laws of the universe, or logic, okay, that's all you have to avoid. On you go.
Right, so this fella, right, he goes to the doctors because he's got earache.
Right. Okay, if a chimp's living in his brain, that he go on.
So he's got earache, he's sat in the waiting room and his ears all bunged up and it's hurting a lot and what have you. So the doctor comes out and he goes, right? And because his ear's all bunged up, he doesn't hear it that well, right? So he thinks it must have been me, right? So he wanders in.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Anyway,
I'm gonna hate this. I can just feel it in my bones. Steve, I'm gonna let you take over. Okay,
Let's hear it. Come
so
on.
the doctor says, sit yourself down there, right? So he sits himself down, he goes, right, take your pants off, right? So he's thinking, that's a bit odd. Anyway, he heard
that though.
He apparently he took his tackle off. The doctor, like, did some operation.
What, there in the waiting room?
No, in his office.
In his office, yeah.
What?
Wait, so he removed what? His genitals?
Yeah.
In his office?
Why, Carl?
Because he hadn't called him in.
Oh, he'd called in the bloke who wanted his testicles taken off, and he didn't do it. What? So the doctor went out and said, Mr. Jones, who's here to whip off your cock and balls, just here and now, right? Bloke comes in, it must have been me. So the bloke who wanted his balls taken off didn't say, oh, I think he said me. So he didn't interrupt then. So the bloke goes in, he starts taking his testicles off, and he doesn't say, I'm here for me ears.
Down. New Year's Eve taught him something, right, about dead people.
No. You know, this taught me. I was saying you're talking shite. He says they found out your soul weighs an ounce.
Your soul?
Yeah. Your soul weighs an ounce.
Right, who found this out?
I read it.
Your arsehole weighs an ounce.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. A soul weighs an ounce. You're talking drivel.
Alright.
Have you got any monkey news?
So what did they do? They weighed someone who was alive, and they will wait for you to die, then weigh you again.
There was someone
you've lost an ounce. Yeah, it must be your soul shooting off to heaven.
It was someone who was really ill, and they said, we can't do anything for you here, but we've got a bit of an idea that we want to do. We've been wanting to do this. Stuck him on some scales. He said, right, you weigh 9 pounds and an ounce, or whatever, because he was wasting away. He died, 9 pounds. Right?
Fine, well that's proof if proof we needed.
Talking shite.
Monkey news, we might as well leave it.
No, come on,
come on, tell monkey news.
No, it's nothing, that great, really.
Is it worth playing the jingle? Quickly?
Go on then.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news!
Right, it's about a monkey.
2004, four.
It's about this woman monkey who was born in 1834. Right? Half monkey, half woman.
No. Not true.
It happened, apparently it was in the Daily Mail. Right?
Okay.
The Victorian ape woman was her name.
Yeah, I christened this thing Victorian ape woman. Well, we thought Sandra. No, I'm calling it Victorian ape woman.
She was about 4 foot.
No, didn't happen.
She had lovely thick black hair on her head, and on the back of her legs, and her arms.
Yeah.
Alright.
So stockings.
Let's have a look.
And she